the best, the greatest, the finest. And the superlatives just go on and on and on. And with good reason, every one of these names is an icon. They are the PBA's first 25. I am Lourdes de Vera. Join me as we count down the greatest names to ever walk the Philippine hardcourt here on Basketball Almanac.
There's a dead ball situation now. They can call for a 30-second injury timeout.
As the philosopher said, height is might. Well, especially in basketball. But not all the time. You see, sometimes giants tend to be slow and awkward. But these big men we're about to show you certainly knew how to dominate the paint.
18 years ago, the PBA celebrated its 25th anniversary. But the milestone is not just about silver plating Asia's first pay-for-play league. The bigger celebration gravitated towards a distinct group of men who defined and redefined Philippine basketball.
Part of the celebration yun is to honor yung top players who made the league what it is. At that time, there was a need to parang just as a form of celebration lang ng 25th anniversary ng PBA, they decided to come up with their own list of 25 greatest players.
And so the PBA came up with the first 25, an elite list of players from the league's first 25 years, from 1975 to the year 2000. Candidates for the first 25 were screened using the following criteria. They must have played at least 12 conferences, must have won at least one major individual award like the MVP, Rookie of the Year, and Mythical Selection among others, and must have had a positive contribution to the sport.
So once you win the MVP award, regardless of how well you played for their entire career, kahit isang taong ka lang magaling, that is more than enough already for you to qualify. So that's one. Number two, I think it's really more about yung accomplishments mo. Well, accomplishments could be a lot of factors. Statistics, impact of the game, longevity, how the fans have looked up at you, all these years,
I think the first 25 is where you find the players who really become institutionalized na sa PBA. Na tipong talagang when you talk of them, when you talk of the PBA, you cannot go about looking at the history of the PBA without talking about these players.
And Ramon will take it. 1 second to go.
And in the universe of Philippine basketball, superstars abound, but only a few can go supernova. Like Ramon El Presidente Fernandez, the league's first 4-time MVP.
I don't think anybody would doubt Ramon Fernandez. At that time, he already won 4 MVP awards by then. That time, he was already considered as the greatest player of all time. Today, he probably remains to be regarded as the greatest player of all time after another 18 years. Of course, June Mar is closing behind. But if you look at it, Fernandez remains to be regarded as a meter stick or the yardstick. As far as the greatest players among the players.
Ramon Fernandez going up using the board.
To this day, El Presidente is still the PBA's all-time leading scorer with 18,996 career points. He is also the leader in the rebounding department with 8,652 career boards, and number 1 in career blocks with 1,853 rejections. Fernandez ranks second in steals and assists. And most of all, he is a 19-time PBA champion.
Too late. Besides which, it's very difficult to stop a semi-hook like that.
And there again, a good value.
But Mon Fernandez is not a one-man act in the theater of basketball dominance. Lanky but spunky, they definitely won't play second fiddle to Don Ramon, even if the numbers say otherwise.
5 minutes and 14 seconds to go. And again, Fernandez blocks the shot of Abet Gidabit.
One of them is Fernandez's Crispa Toyota arch-rival, Abet Gedabin, a two-time MVP and winner with the legendary Redmanizers.
33 ticks to go. Abet Gidabin.
He became the league's second all-time leading scorer with 15,775 points and number 2 in rebounds with 8,570 boards.
Fast break in the works for the red shirts. Abet Gidabin coming in strongly from the left side.
Gedabin and Fernandez, however, formed just two-thirds of the PBA centers of attraction from the late 70s to the mid-90s. One-third of the spotlight belonged to Philip Cesar. The 1980 MVP also became a perennial defensive answer to the offensive riddle that was Don Ramon.
Padim Israel picked up the garbage. Cesar banks it in.
At one point, he even owned El Presidente after beating him in the league's first one-on-one challenge in 1979. The so-called Tapal King is also a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year and second all-time leader in blocks. Cesar also played alongside another future legend in Freddy Hubalde, the 1977 MVP, a prolific forward known for his off-the-glass shots and deep under-goal stabs, or what is known in the streets as dukot.
Quite tentative. Ready. Ready, Ubalde.
Hubalde was a member of the league's mythical 5 selection in 1977. Just like another big man, his name, Manny Paner, who would later join him as one of the greatest centers in the first 25 list.
Paras makes the first.
The big man storyline for the PBA's first 25 won't be complete without the chapter of Benji Paras. Just imagine a young 6'4" player outplaying Fernandez, Gedabin, and Cesar, who were still in their prime. And the best part, he beat them all to become the league's only Rookie of the Year and MVP in 1989. 10 years later, the Tower of Power would win another MVP plum on top of the All-Star MVP and Comeback Player Awards in 1999.
Tony, tough angle to work with, won't go. That captain is there.
In that same era, another league legend would emerge. His name, Alvin Patrimonio, who would later become the PBA's second 4-time MVP.
The turnaround by Alvin.
The captain was one of the league's smartest forwards, outscoring bigger defenders in the post while punishing them from the perimeter with an effective outside shot. No wonder he wrapped up his 16-year career as the PBA's third all-time leading scorer with 15,091 points.
Jerry working on the outside. And Alvin with an offensive rebound.
But sometimes, basketball isn't just about points. Just ask Patrimonio's front court partner and bosom buddy, Jerry Codinera. The defense minister came close to securing MVP honors in 1993, but eventually lost to Patrimonio. Yet despite falling short of the top prize, Codinera cemented his stature nonetheless as a 9-time member of the PBA defensive team, to go with a Defensive Player of the Year plum in 1994. The first 25 is different from the PBA Hall of Fame, but some names appear on both lists like Robert Jaworski, Ramon Fernandez, Atoy Co, Philip Cesar, Bogs Adornado, and Francis Arnaiz, were the first batch of Hall of Fame inductees in 2005. The PBA has since enshrined 40 Filipino basketball greats, 18 of which were part of the first 25.
In basketball, we have catchphrases like teamwork, hustle, intensity. But in the end, it all boils down to actually making that shot. It's all about scoring. Meet the PBA's scoring legends. Those who have made the baskets and carried their teams to greatness.
Into the front court, Florencio.
In basketball, it's all about points, but points actually go better with moves. And in this department, there's one name that stands out. His name is Danny Florencio, a former national team standout in the 1970s. Was wowed fans with a plethora of moves. Daredevil Danny, who was once named the original Skywalker, became a two-time scoring champion in a short but storied 8-year stint in the league.
Florencio makes it. Florencio with a very quick release. 14.2 tonight on the...
Another sharpshooting sentinel who etched his name in the record books is Fortunato Atoy Ko. The fortune cookie was one of the few local players who have mastered the fadeaway shot. Ko was also the first to score 5,000 and 10,000 points in the PBA, cementing his reputation as a 4-time scoring champion and a 9-time mythical first-team member. By the way, he is also the 1979 most valuable player. But aside from Ko, there's another Filipino-Chinese guard who's as deadly from the perimeter. Meet Lim Eng Beng. The Manila-born sniper may not be as flashy as his more popular peers, but he was an equally effective shooter with an explosive first step to the basket. Lim was also noted for his gentlemanly demeanor, which later earned him a Sportsmanship Award in 1980, on top of a mythical 5 citation in 1978. William Boggs Adornado remains a legend in his own right. He walked away with the league's first MVP award in 1975. Not even a serious knee injury in 1976 would later stop him from claiming his second straight MVP trophy, making him the award's first back-to-back winner. He won the league's top individual trophy again in 1981 to become the first 3-time PBA MVP.
Out to Ricardo Brown.
If you are looking for someone to say a mouthful about Boggs Adornado, then better pick Ricardo Brown. The quick brown fox took the league by storm in 1983, winning that season's Rookie of the Year award. And 2 years later, he would emerge as the PBA's most valuable player in 1985. With his vast ball handling skills and good court vision, Brown could easily outfox the league's most grizzled defenders by shooting at will or passing to an open teammate. Fast forward to the 1990s, and in that period's shooting history, there is one name that deserves his own altar, someone whose skills are worthy of worship: Alan Kaidik. The triggerman who took MVP honors in 1990 was perhaps the purest shooter the country has ever produced. He set the most number of points scored by a player in a single game at 79, and did the most number of 3-point field goals made in a game at 17, and made the most number of consecutive free throws at 76. To this day, these records have yet to be broken. Kaidik also took the Rookie of the Year award in 1987, becoming a 6-time Mythical 5 member. And all that he did while playing for powerhouse San Miguel Beer. In that same team, Avelino Samboy Lim emerged to become one of the most exciting shooting guards in the PBA. Defying gravity, the Skywalker constantly humiliated many defenders with his exceptional leaping ability, his aerial forays, and inside incursions, often leading to highlight reel dunks and layups. To some, Samboy is a unique find, but for others, a close comparison to the great Skywalker wouldn't hurt. And in that breath, Jojo Lastimosa is often mentioned. Jolas could also leap through the fences, drive to the hole, and pull up jumpers, even in traffic. The 1998 Rookie of the Year started as a Pure Foods heartthrob but became a vital cog to the championship juggernaut that was Alaska in the 90s. Overall, he won 10 PBA titles, 9 from the Milkmen, including a Grand Slam in 1996. In Alaska, Lastimosa teamed up with future PBA stars, including a young Kenneth Duremdes. At 24, Duremdes became the youngest inductee to the league's elite circle. Mind you, he had the jewels to show: an MVP mint in 1998, 2 finals MVP plums, pair of Best Player of the Conference citations, and above all, 6 PBA titles. Before taking his talents to Alaska, Doremdes was once the underutilized backup of another PBA great, Vergel Meneses. The aerial voyager was a face of the Sunkist Pop Cola franchise in the mid-90s. But he was most recognized for his acrobatic moves to the hoop, earning him back-to-back PBA Slam Dunk titles in 1992 and 1993. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Meneses would later snare the MVP trophy in 1995 on top of 4 All-Star MVP honors, 3 Best Player of the Conference awards, and of course, 3 PBA titles. Need we say more? The first 25 coffee table book, which was published in late 2000, featured not just the PBA's 25 greatest players since 1975. It also included anecdotes about the PBA's past commissioners, coaches, imports, and virtually the entire history of the league for its silver year. The book was edited by former Philippine Sports Writers Association President Jimmy Cantor and trivia master Bong Barameda.
Every battlefield needs generals, leaders in charge of executing strategies in the blink of an eye. In the basketball court, they dictate the tempo of the game. They are fast, smart, and methodical. And they certainly know how to carry a damn ball. These are the PBA's finest court generals.
Here is the Big J with a baseline drive.
Never say die. That phrase may speak volumes about the fabled Ginebra San Miguel franchise. But its storyline only echoes the career of one man, the living legend, Robert Sonny Jaworski. Gifted with a barrel-chested build and natural basketball instincts, the Big J was an intense power playing guard. Picture this: an MVP award in 1978, 6 Mythical 5 citations, and 13 PBA championships, 9 from the legendary Toyota squad, and 4 from Ginebra as playing coach. Jaworski was also the PBA's all-time leader in assists, with 5,825 career dimes. When we speak of Jawo in the 70s, we also speak of Francis Arnaiz. Mr. Clutch was Jaworski's longtime backcourt partner, from Toyota to Ginebra in a span of 13 years. Like the Big J, he had a knack for firing up the crowd with his looks and skills.
The road runner goes for 3 points. Oh, what a great shot!
He's just 5'10", but can disarm hulking imports and shot blockers with looping layups and booming outside shots. The 3-time Mythical 5 member always does that in the clutch. But if you want to see Arnaiz play a less than spectacular game, call Bernard Fabiosa. The Redmanizer's top guard was a lockdown backcourt defender,
Here's Mamaril. Bernie Fabiosa. Got it.
pestering ball handlers with his quick hands and high basketball IQ to delay or disrupt the opponent's offensive sets.
Fernandez just took the ball away too. On one situation, but Fabiosa saved the situation.
No wonder he's often regarded as the perfect match to the offensive-minded Arnaiz during their famed Crispa Toyota days. He was one of the first players to compile 2,000 career assists and 1,000 career steals, hence the moniker the Sultan of Swipe.
Stafford was hectoring free.
You speak of the 90s backcourt brilliance, and Hector Calma aptly fits in that conversation. The director is a pure point guard, a virtuoso orchestrator who wields excellent timing and precision passing, making him one of the key pieces in San Miguel Beer's Grand Slam performance in 1989. He is also a 3-time Mythical 5 member and once upon a time was the league's assist champion. Calma would later defer San Miguel's playmaking chores to his younger teammates. One of them is Renato Ato Agustin. The Atom Bomb was considered one of the league's early combo guards who can play both the point and shooting guard positions with ease and efficiency. In 1992, he ran away with the MVP award, besting a field that includes future Hall of Famers and PBA legends. Agustin, who's won multiple titles with San Miguel, is also a 3-time Mythical 5 member. Just a year before Agustin entered the league, Ronnie Magsano pitched his relevance to the point guard discussion. The point laureate was Benji Paras's ultimate facilitator, much like John Stockton to Karl Malone. So it's little surprise that he became 2-time assist champion. But Magsano, the great court general that he is, thinks there's actually someone better than him or even his friend Hector Calma. He is referring to Johnny Abarientos. At 5'7", the little guy redefined point guard play in the PBA. Assisting, defending, and even challenging taller defenders with slashing moves and hang time ability. The Flying A was so good that he led Alaska to 8 titles, including a Grand Slam in 1996, not to mention getting the attention of NBA scouts from the Charlotte Hornets. In a 17-year stint, Abarientos surpassed Ramon Fernandez as the league's all-time career leader in steals with 1,358 total swipes. He ranks 4th in career assists with 3,757 total. Aside from being a 6-time Mythical 5 member, 5-time All-Defensive Team member, and 2-time Finals MVP. And in case you forget, the Flying A was the shortest player to ever win an MVP plum in the Philippine Basketball Association.
They say that in basketball, you only need these 2 things to succeed: talent and determination. But think about this. Everyone has determination. You may develop certain talents. Most of these basketball players are of the same body type, build, and height. But it takes a special kind of specimen, you may say a different kind of species, to rise above the ordinary, determined, and talented individual to achieve basketball immortality. And the PBA's first 25 is certainly a fundamental source of Filipino basketball pride. My name is Lord Rivera. This has been Basketball Almanac, and I'm proud to be Filipino.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address.
Unang jackpot, walang nahuli ang gusto. PBA basketball, ginalian ng gusto. Shoot, sabay sigaw, dribble tapos hataw. Hiya parang lindol, buzzer beater ni Idol. Halos di makahinga sa talbog ng bola. Ang puso ay nadadala. Sino ang magiging bida? Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang aksyon ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan.
Coming off of losses in their previous games, these two teams facing off today to open up your Saturday doubleheader are eager to bounce back and get back on the winning track. On one side of this matchup, two young guys carving their names in the league, Xavier Lucero and of course Jerome Lastimosa. On the other, two teams also, two guys also finding their footing in their team. It's Jeric Amisi and Ian Sangalang. Taking accountability is our theme for today's matchup, as these two teams are trying to find their way back to the winning column. Good day to you, PBA fans. Jot Sulit here with three-time PBA Coach of the Year, Coach Ryan Gregorio. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon, Jot, and good afternoon to our televiewers. It's a big game for both these teams. We know that Magnolia is coming off a loss, a tight one against Meralco. On the other hand, after winning against NLEX, this team, Terrafirma, dropped their last game against Converge, and they want to get back on the winning track in today's ball game.
That's right. They were both on the winning side before losing their previous matchups, and that's what we're going to talk about, because in the mix for these two teams, Coach, are very young players, but fast rising stars. Before we dive into a deeper discussion on the players, the team standings on your screen.
With the victory of TNT yesterday, they're on top of the standings with 3-1. Three teams are actually 2-1. Converge, Magnolia, and NLEX. 2 straight victories for Magnolia against Meralco and against Titan. But unfortunately, as we've mentioned earlier, they dropped their last game against Meralco. On the other hand, Terrafirma dropping their first game against Blackwater, won against NLEX Road Warriors, and in the last game, they lost by 17 against Converge Fiber Xers.
That's right. Well, let's take a look at the previous game that Magnolia played. They actually won their first 2 matchups in Season 50, but fell short against Meralco.
It was a 2-point loss against Meralco. They did not shoot well, only 32.9% from the field. You take a look at their hustle points of the turnovers, that is 15-3, advantage for Magnolia, and even second chance points. So even if they had a very flat start, only 7 points in the first quarter, a total of 25 points in the first 2 quarters, they were down by as many as 18 points. But still, they were able to fight back in the fourth quarter, even led during the crucial stretch of that particular game. But it is just unfortunate that they allowed their opponent to go to the line 30 times. And for Meralco, they made a total of 25 free throws for 83%, while Magnolia only went to the line 23 times, making 19. So that was a difference maker. You want to play defense, but at the same time, you don't want to keep on fouling.
You know, it was a comeback in the making that Magnolia just could not complete, but it was a perfect story without that perfect ending.
Yes.
If they completed it, it would have been Xavier Lucero, Coach, who shined as the hero.
Oh, for sure. He's been playing good basketball in the first 2 games, averaging a total of 20 points per ball game. And not only that, he was held scoreless in the first 2 quarters, but found an opening in the fourth quarter, had 2 booming threes to keep the game close, even took the lead for a while. He finished the game with 14 points on a 2 out of 3 shooting from the 3-point area, 6 rebounds and 3 blocks. But again, I mentioned earlier, he was averaging 20 points per ball game in the first 2 games, so it was a huge drop, a 6-point drop for him. And also even at the rebounding end, before that game, he was averaging 12 rebounds per ball game. So he really has to find ways to score and get into good rebounding position.
Yes, when we're talking about Magnolia now, we're talking about Xavier Lucero as their main man. And also, arguing to be in that spot is Jerome Lastimosa. We're talking about the next gen, or maybe you can call them the current generation of Magnolia Stars. And these two have certainly done a lot of damage. Lastimosa had such a brilliant performance against Meralco.
And is playing spectacular basketball here in the first 3 games for his team. He scored 22 points against Meralco on a very good clip, 46.7%, 7 out of 15. Issued 2 assists and also had 2 steals. All Conference Long has been averaging 16.3 points per ball game, 4.3 assists per game, 45% from 3, 63% from 2, but he has to improve on his free throw shooting because he's only shooting at a 60% clip. Should be better because of his accuracy from the outside. He should make his free throws easily.
But you know, Coach, even with the emergence of Jerome Lastimosa, it's hard to call it a changing of the guards because even when there's new faces coming up, Mark Maroca stays in the mix. He stays relevant for Magnolia.
He has not lost a step. He's been in the league for quite a while now. 11.3 points per ball game is his average in the first 3 games. Dropped 11 points against Meralco, perfect from the free throw line, and still was able to grab 11 rebounds and issued 5 assists. So you can still depend on this guy, the veteran for this team. Even if he comes off the bench, he can still be a reliable producer in points, rebounding, and also can dish off assists at any given time.
You always want to welcome the next generation, the carriers of the flag, but you want the vets to be there. However, a vet who hasn't exactly been there for the Hotshots is Paul Lee, and he's been having a very silent start to Season 50, Coach.
Oh, very quiet indeed. He was not able to score against Barangay Ginebra. Was also held scoreless against Titan. He only scored 2 points against Bolts on a 2 out of 2 shooting from the free throw line. He has not made a shot from the field. So that is really alarming. His numbers in terms of scoring obviously down at 0.7%. That is not lethal weapon numbers. 3.3 rebounds, 2 assists. But he's only playing just a little under 13 minutes per ball game. He's increasing in terms of his minutes, 9.2 minutes against Barangay, 13 minutes against Titan, and 15 minutes against Meralco. But you still want to get him going. He has to get his shots off. Even towards the end, when Lastimosa took that three, he was waiting for the ball to get to him and make that booming go-ahead basket, but he was not able to get that rock. And as a result, they dropped that game against Meralco.
Well, I think that also paints a picture of how lethal Paul Lee actually is. He can miss the first 10 shots.
Oh, yes.
But you would still trust him to take that shot that will give you the win. Again, did not exactly happen that way for Magnolia. Let's cross over to the side of Terrafirma now. Now, this team, they went 1-2 in their first 3 games. And while that win over NLEX was a bright spot, they stumbled against Converge.
125 to 108. That is minus 17 for Terrafirma. They're shooting well within the 50% range at 48.8%. Rebounds, totally out-rebounded because of the many rebounders. Of course, the two giants, the Twin Tower combination of Converge, that is 64 to 38. Second chance points, half the number of Converge at 8 with 19 for the Fiber Xers, and points inside the paint. Totally dominated by Converge. But again, if there's one issue that this team needs to do, is really play defense. They limited NLEX to just 91 points, and that is a victory for them. But in the games that they've lost, they gave away 116 points. So defense really must be given premium by this team.
You know, to be fair, Converge has definitely dominated the rebounds department and points in the paint in their previous games. But to be out-rebounded by 26, outscored in the paint by 30 is too big of a number. Jeric Ahanmisi has assumed the role of leading man for the Terrafirma Dyip after he found his way here previously playing for Magnolia but losing a roster spot with all the roster changes for the Hotshots.
He's definitely coming off with his best personal conference high, or even his average at 18.3 points per ball game. Against Converge, a little down from his 25-point performance in their very first game against Blackwater. But what you like about this guy is he is embracing being the focal point on offense. He is averaging 31 minutes per ball game. He scored 25, as I've mentioned earlier, against Blackwater, scattered 14 against NLEX, and 16 against Converge. So basically, he is a reliable scorer for his team.
Now, what Terrafirma will be looking to do is to get Ahanmisi to click with Sanggalang, who is usually in the paint. Ahanmisi changes teams, and he's still playing with someone, a lefty Sanggalang, who stays in the paint.
Undersized, but he knows how to position inside the paint using his great footwork and also his grip, meaning it's very hard to block him, especially if it's a one-on-one situation. 15 points against Converge, 46.2% from the field plus 4 rebounds. You are correct. The outside sniping will come from Ahanmisi, and for Sanggalang, in order for their offense to be complete, he has to dominate inside the paint.
And Luis Sanggalang, he will have to find the effectivity that he showed last season, because he was terrific for Terrafirma, not exactly that efficient here in Season 50. They have brought in some reinforcement, however, in JM Bravo. This rookie was the one who won Best Player in their lone win this conference so far.
That's right. He had a 16-point performance against NLEX. And it's probably a big surprise in the conference, averaging 13.3 points per ball game. He showed that he can shoot from the outside consistently. Was great against Converge, especially in the first quarter. He had 4 threes in the first quarter, but was silent the rest of the way. Was able to finish the game with 13, 4 out of 11 from the field, 6 blocks, and 6 rebounds rather, and 2 blocks.
That's right. Well, Terrafirma, they will need all weapons on deck if they want to try and bring down the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots. So again, started off the conference, the season on a very high note, only to stumble against Meralco in a heartbreaking loss. So you know the Hotshots are eager to bounce back here today as we take a look at our officials for this game. Joel Baldago, James Paez, Francis Mira, and Sherwil Solon will be your referees. And they will be officiating this game Two teams, again, trying to bounce back after suffering losses in their previous contests. We're coming to you from the Inares Center in Antipolo. Thank you for tuning in to PBA Rush. If you guys have the rest of your Saturday free, well, please come on over to the Inares Center here in Antipolo. Join us. We'll be here for a couple of PBA games. And now, we'll meet the starters for both teams.
We are live inside the Inares Center in Antipolo City. And this is the Philippine Cup of your PBA 50. Our first game for today features Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots versus Terrafirma Dyip. Let us now meet the starters. First for the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots. Point guard is Magnolia's top pick in the 49 season draft from Dumaguete City, number 30, Jerome Lastimosa. Shooting guard is playing in his third season in the league from Mandaluyong City, number 2, Javi Gomez del Llano. Small forward from Olongapo City, Zambales, number 19, Rum de la Rosa. Power forward is a mythical second team member last 49 season from San Carlos, Pangasinan, number 22, Xavier Lucero. And at center, he's playing his 5th season in the league from Caloocan City, number 42, James Laput. Coaching the Hotshots is L.A. Tenorio. It is now time to meet the starters for the Terrafirma Dyip. Point guard from Muntinlupa City, number 38, Brent Paraiso. Shooting guard from Zamboanga City, number 30, Didat Hanapi. Small forward from Quezon City, number 19, Paulo Hernandez. Power forward from City of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, number 26, J.M. Bravo. And at center from Aklan, number 5, Keith Zaldivar. Coaching Terrafirma is Ronald Tubid. Game officials, Joel Mardago, James Paez, John Mira, and Shirley.
Again, Magnolia and Terrafirma taking accountability after suffering losses in their previous games. You see the starters on your screens. Lucero and Lastimosa, joined by Gomez del Llano. This is already a very new look for Magnolia. How many seasons, Coach, has the Magnolia roster stayed intact with the core, of course, of Sangalang, Lee, Baroka? But over the last season, it's changed so much.
Look at the starting lineup. They're really trusting their youth movement. They have 3 new players, meaning relatively new, especially Gomez de Leon. He's been playing good basketball as a floor spacer for this team. And he is just an important and instrumental player at this point for Magnolia.
Wow, Paraiso was able to get that putback despite 3 blue shirts surrounding him. We also have to talk about James Laput, who has been with Magnolia for some time, but for the longest time, they were trusting the process. He was a project, and now it seems like the Hotshots have decided he's ready to jump into the starting unit.
The trust factor is very obvious. Look at the way he was able to dish off that nice assist pass to the cutting Xavier Lucero. What is important right now for Magnolia is to start strong. They had a very flat start against Meralco. Yes, they show that they can bounce back, but towards the end, you know that when you bounce back from an 18-point deficit, chances are you will lose your legs. You will not be able to sustain it, and that is why they were not able to stop CJ Cancino, and CJ Cancino was just sensational in that game for the Bolts.
You know, for just to harp on your comments on Cancino, he's shooting about 18 to 19 attempts for Meralco every game, and that just sends a message that maybe there's also a shift happening on the side of the Bolts. Look at Lastimosa, shifting hands midair, finishing through the foul.
Again, rebounding, very important for Terrafirma to make sure that they will just allow one shot. Not a lot of opportunities for Magnolia because their confidence will just increase. And look at the way Lastimosa was able to break the defense, did not really mind if there was a collapsing defense, still was able to find a tiny opening to make his layup using his left hand and finishing it off with his completed 3-point play.
You know, whatever league you're watching and you're following, there will always be a time where new stars will emerge. Sometimes it's more gradual, as you see Zaldivar getting that nice dish off of Hernandez.
And one time, Saldivar was also part of this Magnolia team. They've been trying to look for the right combination. And with Coach L.A. Tenore and his system, and a lot of new faces also in the coaching staff, I feel like this is going to be a very fruitful season. And conference first for Magnolia.
They are hungry for a championship. The last one they won was the 2018. I believe it was the Governor's Cup back then. They did win it with Romeo Travis. That was the last time that they won.
That was a long time ago.
Too long. I just remember.
Yes, go ahead.
They won against Alaska, who had Mike Harris.
That's right. And even in the previous conference, the Philippine Cup, I thought they had a good one. Always starting so strong, but not able to finish on the right note. They still had an 8-5 or 8 wins and 5 losses mark. But the problem was they ended at number 6. So they lost a twice to beat advantage, losing twice against TNT.
Yeah, that was definitely painful. Bravo trying to post Lastimosa up, but Jerome just denying him. Great defense by Magnolia. Now they're pushing. De La Rosa. A familiar row move doesn't result in points, and it will go back to Terrafirma.
It's imperative really for Terrafirma to really fight every time there is an opportunity to sprint down on defense. Do not allow Magnolia to score on the break. Make it difficult for Magnolia to score. It has not been good in terms of scoring for Magnolia. In their 2 losses, they only scored, well, even in their win against Barangay Ginebra, they only scored 80. And in their previous loss against Meralco, they're only good for 76. So that means they still have to polish their offensive execution.
Well, Bravo is able to draw a foul, and he'll head to the line for a pair. Talking more about Terrafirma, Coach, I think they're the opposite of Magnolia. We spoke about the Hotshots having the same lineup for a long time until last year when they shook things up. Terrafirma has been on a constant, reforming, reshaping of that roster, whether it's by design or by chance. But I know it's a small sample size. In the games they've played here in Season 50, what's the promise, the potential that you see in this current roster?
Well, just a lot of moving pieces for Terrafirma. And not only that, they're not just moving players. They're also changing coaches. So that means it's a brand new system. It's a total overhaul for them. Good thing that they won against NLEX. That to me was a surprise because I thought during that game, NLEX was on a high because of their victory against San Miguel. Probably they came in with overconfidence, so that's why they dropped that game. But Terrafirma can pull off a lot of surprises. They can definitely keep in step with the bigger teams in the league in terms of just keeping it close, as shown with their victory against NLEX. But in the last 2 losses, they lost by 20 against Blackwater and also lost by 17 against Converge. So they just might need to keep it close and have a fighting chance in the end.
I think it's always been something that fans have been asking from Terrafirma, just to be able to show up more consistently. Because you're right, they show us flashes of brilliance.
Yes.
But how can you be able to show that night in and night out? Here's a 3 for them, a miss. Lucero asking for it. Pass disrupted by Bravo. Hanapi thought about attacking, had to step on the brakes. Paraiso. It's Bravo again, attacking Laput. Steps back, jumper, falls in. Nice move from JM Bravo.
Smooth operator from the field. Usually steps out and shoot that 3. But this time around, he was able to knock down that shot using his dribbling move.
Magnolia has really been involving Laput in their half-court sets. He has Lucero from 3, way off. Look at this move by Bravo.
You see that obviously Laput knows that JM Bravo can shoot from the outside. That is why there was a long recovery on the closeout. But after doing series of dribbling moves, he was still able to get a tiny opening to get his shot off. Big time basket by JM Bravo. Look at our score right now. Terrafirma enjoying a 1-point advantage.
Not only are they keeping it close, they are in the driver's seat right now. However, that will be corrected. It will stay with Terrafirma. 7-47, and the trend is staying true. Magnolia low scoring so far in the first 4 minutes of this ball game as Luis Sangalang checks in for the Jeep. Bravo. Looking for 4. Jim Bravo knocks it down.
This guy can shoot. This guy you have to defend. You have to have special defense because he is just a deadly shooter from the outside.
When he was able to sign with Terrafirma, he posted on Instagram a message to his late dad dedicating, you know, that big milestone in his career to his late father, and he's making his father proud, definitely.
And you root for players like that. Not a big name player, of course. He played for LPU in the NCAA wars, but he was not even drafted in the first 3 rounds. And yet, in their very first win in this conference, he was our best player of the game and scored 16 points against the Road Warriors.
I know you're big on that, Coach, in knowing your why. Knowing what motivates you, what pushes you to perform in whatever field you're in. Magnolia converts, trimming the deficit down to 3. No substitutions yet for Coach L.A. Tenorio as Terrafirma is breaking down Magnolia's defense here in the first.
That is quite a surprise. You know that Coach L.A. Tenorio gives premium on the kind of defense that he plays. But what is happening right now is even their interior defense is absent. A lot of baskets inside the paint for Terrafirma, and the outside scoring or perimeter scoring is also present for Terrafirma. And after this timeout, Terrafirma still enjoying a 5-point advantage.
Sustaining our defense. Hey, we're not. Just like what happened a while ago, we're not seeing the ball. A while ago, there's a cut here. Open on the slip. Why? Hey, just stay in front. Stay in front. They can shoot over you.
Let's talk about Aljon Mariano. I mean, obviously Maverick and Misi, Terrafirma still waiting for him, but Aljon did suit up in his first game as a member of the Jeep, and he put up 10 points.
And you can still count on him. He still has a lot of gas in his tank. 10 points, 37.5%, missed 5 attempts, 2 rebounds and 3 assists. And he's also still trying to have his comfort level. You know that in his career here in the PBA, he only knows one system, and that is the Ginebra system of the triangle offense. And what you like from this guy is he has that championship pedigree, and he can bring a lot of positive attitude for this team.
Definitely leadership will also be something that Aljon can bring to the Jeep. CJ Katapusan looking to complete a 3-point play. Missing, however. On the rebound play, it's Lucero. Former teammate chasing him and forcing the turnover.
That's a step, yes.
Jerick with a little snicker of a smile saying, hey, I got you there.
I pushed him a little bit.
Ian Sangalang has yet to check into this game. And we got word from Esbe Escudero that looking well and is ready if his number gets called on. Lastimosa reading that well. Jerome kicks it out. Javi from the corner, no good. And De La Rosa draws a foul on Ahanmisi. I want to abuse the fact and the situation that we can still call Jerick just Ahanmisi. Because pretty soon, we're going to have to be specific which Ahanmisi we're talking about when it comes to Terrafirma.
So Mav, of course, not yet playing for Terrafirma. He was traded to this team from Barangay Ginebra. So there will be 2 Ahanmisis playing for Terrafirma in the coming games.
I'm also very excited to see Maverick in Terrafirma because I think we've also never seen him as the main man of a team, and he could blossom into that as well with a Jeep.
Oh, quite definitely. When he was still playing for Converge, he was really the #1 points producer for that team. Then he was traded to Barangay Ginebra, had limited playing time, but still was good for more than 12 points per ball game. But he wanted to be traded. That is what happened in this conference, and he was acquired by Terrafirma.
Gomez de Leaño missed from the right side, missed from the left. He fouls Mariano on the rebound. Magnolia just not getting to put points up on the board.
Still nothing for Gomez de Leaño from the three-point area. Prior to this game, he was shooting 38%. He shoots more threes than twos. Good pickup for Magnolia, but has yet to hit his mark from Rainbow Country today.
And it's not that they're missing shots. It's not that they've not been able to take enough because they have 5 turnovers. Talking about the hot shots, here's Terrafirma. Sangalang against Laput. There's that spin. That drop step, coach, for Louis is pretty explosive too.
Yes, I've seen a lot of games and I'm mesmerized because he is undersized playing the 5 spot for this team. But what you like is, again, his footwork. And every time he has the ball, he does not really turn the ball over.
Sangalang makes that first free throw. Barroca now checks in. And this is the first substitution that Coach L.A. Tenorio has made in this game. And he wanted to insert a vet. That's why Barroca checks in. Will join Lastimosa in the backcourt. Lastimosa's left open, but could not hit the three. De La Rosa keeps it alive. Cross court to Barroca. Good off-ball movement for Magnolia. Lucero. That was stripped away, and it will go back to Terrafirma. Another empty possession for Magnolia there. Coach LA not looking too worried yet. But if they don't arrest this skid that they're on right now, he might have to hit the alert button, panic button a little bit.
Almost the same start. With the way they started against the Bolts, they only scored 7 points in that particular game. So I thought this is going to be a lot different with the way they're starting. And what is happening is they're now down by 11 points. 20 for Terrafirma and only 9 for Magnolia. They're missing a lot of shots, and not only that, they're also turning the ball over at a very high rate.
Well, finally they get something going, and that's Lapo drawing a foul. He'll head to the line. But they've allowed Terrafirma to do 4-point shots already.
That's right. So enter 2 veterans, Paul Lee and also Ian Sangalang. Because you go up against Terrafirma, what do you have as an advantage? It's really your tall players. The post will be your edge. So that is why they're really focused on getting the ball in the hands of Laput inside. But Ian Sangalang will have to wait a little bit because Laput is still on the free throw line.
How much changes, Coach, with the youthful first unit that Coach LA has started every Magnolia game this conference with, and this second unit composed of vets?
Well, he wants to set the tone that he is now relying on his youth movement, he's now relying on his younger players, but at the same time, what you're seeing is bench depth. So guys coming off the bench should be able to contribute. It's just a matter of time for Paul Lee to explode. I mean, I have not seen Paul Lee in the first 3 games have 0, 0, and 2 points. 0 from the field so far for the lethal weapon. 0.7%. 0.7 points per ball game. Can you imagine that? Not even 1 point per game for the lethal weapon. But he's coming in early here in this ball game.
He's a ticking time bomb. So once he erupts and explodes, it's going to be scary. Lucero with a major erasure. That's a couple of blocks for Magnolia in that sequence. Both emphatic. Your offense, you know, you can wake your offense up by efforts like that on the defensive end. And that's what Magnolia is hoping to ignite.
And just make it harder for Terrafirma to score inside the paint. That should be the domain of Lucero inside. And as expected, there has to be an advantage in the post. Ian Sangalang being guarded by a much smaller defender. So it is imperative for Magnolia not to look for their outside shooters first. Get the ball inside, wait for the reaction of the defense, and let your offense flow.
Staggered screens being set by Terrafirma as they're trying to open up situations for them. Mariano trying to post layup. The help coming from Barroca. Olivario sends it out. Ahanisi. That's back-to-back 24-second shot clock violations on the Jeep. Magnolia looks re-energized over the last two sequences, and that has forced Coach Ronald Tubit to call for time. The four-point shot was introduced last season. And while I would say few players and few teams have mastered the art of it, we cannot deny how big of an impact the four-point shot has had in the PBA so far, Coach RG.
And there are just players who are so comfortable taking four-point shots, and one is Ahanisi. And it's been so long. We're taking a look at this upset by Terrafirma way back in 2016. That was an 8-point victory for them in overtime. And after that, 21 straight losses for Terrafirma.
2016, you were just fresh out of college, Coach.
I'm trying to calculate. I retired. When was that? 2014. That was the last year I coached in the PBA.
Oh yeah, that's
and now
right.
I'm on my 11th year of being on television.
I gave you your years back. But yeah, it's
that was a long time
close to
ago.
a decade, right? And of course, Terrafirma wanting to repeat that feat, and with plays like that, they might be able to do so.
And it can be so frustrating for Coach LA because they're coming off a timeout. Instead of executing, they turn the ball over, and a quick response by Terrafirma by scoring on a transition basket.
Terrafirma is also making Magnolia work on the offensive end. Oh, Barroca finds an opening. That's why you need a vet on the floor.
So 3 veterans right now playing alongside Lucero and Alfaro. So this should be a better offensive execution for Magnolia.
I wonder if there's a chip on Jarek's shoulder. Of course, playing against his former team. But they turn it over. 3 of the last 4 possessions of Terrafirma have ended in turnovers. And let's remember that it was turnovers that hurt Magnolia very early in this game. So the Jeep, of course, they don't want that story to flip. You're still up by 7.
Zone defense being employed by Terrafirma with less than 2 minutes remaining here in the first quarter.
What do you think, Coach, the zone does for them, specifically with the guys on the floor?
Well, for Terrafirma, the reason why they're doing that zone is because they feel like they have nobody who can guard Sangalang with his back to the basket, or even Lucero with his back to the basket. So they're just challenging Magnolia. If you want to beat us with an outside shot, Terrafirma is just taking their chances at this point.
Alfaro, he has range. Alfaro dumps it to Sangalang. Ian was fouled, and that will bail Magnolia out, because as you heard it, the buzzer sounded. It If there was no whistle, would have been a shot clock violation.
That's just a classic bailout call by our referee. Was there a foul? Let's take a look at it. Well, yes. And I say that because they've been calling it tight. They've been calling it consistently. Every time you mess up with the shooting hand or shooting arm of the offensive player, even if it is just a slight touch, the trajectory of the ball will be different. So call it every single time. I saw that yesterday also in the game between Blackwater and who was that team yesterday? Blackwater lost against Rain or Shine. That was the same call that they called against Ginto. They're just trying to be consistent in this game.
And that's all you can ask for, right?
Yes,
if you're a coach or a player.
Oh yes, right.
And when you say consistency, it's not just consistent on both ends of the floor, but consistency throughout the entire tournament, throughout the entire season.
Of course.
Paul Lee, could this be his first field goal? Yes, it is. And of course, it's a 4.
Just a matter of time for the lethal weapon to score from the outside.
That's what you don't want to see if you're Terrafirma. Lee finally connecting.
He has to get his touches. He has to shoot. Can you imagine? 4th game for Magnolia. Only the first field goal made by the lethal weapon.
And we've covered Paul Lee's career for so long to know how competitive that guy is. He's not going to allow himself to struggle for longer. Handoff action. It's Paraiso from the corner coming up. Terrafirma only down by 2. Paraiso could not finish, but he draws a foul on Lee.
Gutsy move by Paraiso. But first, ball inside, going outside, waiting for the defense to collapse first, then finding Paul Lee. He needs to get his shots off. You have to look for him. It is not like he will just get the ball, get out of the way. It's not going to happen that way. You just want to make sure that when you have the ball, search where is Paul Lee and hand him that rock.
You can almost hear Paul whispering, "I told you, Jerome." Because that was the spot he was at.
He was like exactly in their previous game. That happened in Montalban. And he was like, he froze for like 5 seconds.
After the buzzer, right?
After Jerome took that shot.
But at the same time, I mean, it's situational. You can look at it from different angles. Lastimosa was hot in that game, right? He had 22 points. Was it the best shot? Maybe, maybe not. But Magnolia's ready to move on.
That's right. And now
Lee again. Coming up short that time.
You see that Terrafirma is trying to push that ball. But good defense that time by Magnolia. Better last few minutes for Magnolia. They went down by as many as 9 points at one point. Or 11 points at one point,
yeah.
Yes. But a strong finish here in the first quarter.
The Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots have fought back from, like Coach Ryan said, an 11-point deficit. Now they're down by 3. They're looking for more from Javi Gomez Del Llano, who was brilliant in their game against Titan Ultra, but was quiet against Meralco.
Very, very quiet against Meralco. He only took 7 attempts, made 2. Even his rebounding was down in that game. Assist, he was not able to dish off. Against Ultra, you see that all across the board, he was a good contributor. 14, then 50% from the field, 4 and 4 in the last 2 categories. Even against Barangay Ginebra, he erupted for 14 on a 5 out of 11 shooting from the field. If there is one thing that he needs to improve on, it is scoring if he is defended from the 3-point area. What is he gonna do? Go closer, get fouled? because you know that with the kind of shooting and with the kind of skill set that he has, defense will just adjust. They will just run him, long closeout, and they will just step on the white line. And let's see if Gomez de Leano can improve on his multiple attacks on offense.
I think what's nice, though, for the situation of Javi is he did not have to change his role too much. Because even when he was with Terrafirma, he'll be a catch and shoot or a catch and attack kind of guy, getting passes from maybe Wami Tiongson or Stephen Holt. And kind of the same role he has with Magnolia.
Correct. And again, it is important. Whoever is playing alongside Gomez de Leano must find him as well. So you've got incredible floor spacers here for Magnolia. Paulie can definitely shoot from the outside. Even Lastimosa can shoot from the outside. But what is stopping the progress of Magnolia here in this game is their turnovers. Just a lot of turnovers. They turned the ball over a total of 6 times in the first quarter and another turnover to start the second quarter.
Paulo Hernandez, he has been a steady guy for Terrafirma ever since last season. And against Converge, he did put up 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in that loss.
And commendable confidence so far in the first 3 games. Close to 29 minutes per ball game, 14 points per game for Hernandez. And not only that, he is the second leading scorer for this team. So it's nice. He flies under the radar. You will just be surprised. Oh, he's been scoring a lot of baskets.
For those who aren't too familiar with Paulo Hernandez, he came out of Mapua. He was actually teammates with Adrian Nocum there. Spent time with the Cardinals together. Escoto has checked in. That's Russell. Bravo with the steal. Sangalang on the run. Bumps in and he completes the play. We'll get a bonus free throw after that.
Not very good in terms of spacing. When they wanted to go inside the paint, there were just 2 guys, Sangalang and Escoto, very close to each other. And if you have a problem with your spacing, chances are the team with quicker hands will be able to deflect that. And this is the edge of Terrafirma. Because of the presence of 2 big guys from Magnolia, quickness is going to be their advantage. And that is what they're pouncing on at the start of the second quarter.
And they have gotten off to another 8-point lead. Alfaro attacks the closeout. Floater down the lane. That's good. Terrafirma looking to counter, but went a little too quickly. Ends up as a turnover for the Jeep.
Look at that floater of Alfaro. This is what I'm saying. If the defense is closing out long, what are you going to do? That can be a good template for Gomez de Leano. Exactly what Alfaro did on offense.
Alfaro finds himself there again, but not the best of spacing for the Hotshots. Sangalang gets a smaller Bravo. Ian still scoreless in this game. Oh, he does have 3 points. Allow me to correct myself.
Now you're Terrafirma. You allow Ian Sangalang to go for a fall-away jumper. That means your defense is working. Ian Sangalang is just so scary when he pounds that ball near the rim.
Sangalang versus Sangalang. Sangalang flops or loses his footing, and the other Sangalang scores.
And as if on cue, Ian Sangalang should not settle. He's taller than Louis Sangalang. So that is an important point of attack for Ian Sangalang. Close by.
Oh, but Terrafirma has been relentless in attacking. They get another chance for a 3-point play. This time it's Paraiso.
And I'm just so impressed with players who can read the situation well. It started with the ball screen action. That was their offensive point of attack. He saw a switch. That means Escoto, a much lower defender, is all of a sudden in front of him. Paraiso, instead of just taking that shot from the perimeter, decided to drive strong and was able to get a foul. It is just unfortunate that he was not able to complete his 3-point play.
And you know that you want to get all the points you can get against Magnolia, because at any point of this game, the Hotshots can just come alive. Paraiso again, downhill. We've said relentless already earlier. We'll use fearless this time because that really is what describes the kamikaze drives of Brent Paraiso.
Just superb fast break attack for Terrafirma. And I was surprised with the number that I'm seeing at this point. 7 fast break points for Terrafirma. Still nothing for Magnolia. So they like forcing turnovers. They like forcing Magnolia to take bad shots, long rebounds. They're just trying to speed up the ball game. And as a result, they're now enjoying another 7-point advantage. It was highest at 11 in the early part of the first quarter.
And for as long as Magnolia is not making their outside shots, Terrafirma will sit on this zone. The Hotshots are 0 for 6 from 3-point range. But the Chief, they're also 0 for 7.
Good attack once again, even against the zone. Ian Sangalang just using his height advantage and his length to score against anybody down low.
Coach Archie, what do you think Terrafirma is seeing? Well, let's take a look at this first. Sangalang. He just shoots that hook over Prince Rivero. Okay, there's a challenge on that last foul called on Escoto, but how many possessions is that already that Terrafirma just goes straight to the heart of the Magnolia defense? Are they seeing something here? A go signal for them to attack the paint?
What they're seeing is an advantage in the quickness department. So they feel like Magnolia is not quick enough to defend the transition. So before the half-court defense of Magnolia is set, they just want to attack, attack, and attack. And they have been rewarded. A lot of fast break points for them. A lot of free throws as well. And they feel like this can be what they can do the rest of the way. And they also probably watched the game against Meralco wherein there were just so many free throws allowed by the defense of Magnolia.
That was the foul called on Escoto, and Coach L.A. Tenorio challenged the call. Question is, will there be a foul or not? Will it be upheld or not? A referee almost ready to make the call and make the explanation here.
After your review, okay na po. Check.
Our referee is ready to make the announcement. Just need to make sure that both teams hear it, the audience hears it. So a little bit of suspense. I think there's no one who's more eager to hear the announcement more than Russell Escoto, because this could be a foul on him, could be overturned. But again, it's been Terrafirma forcing these situations with them just attacking as hard and as fast as they can on every possession.
After the review, meron pong legal contact si Escoto kay Bravo. Therefore, the challenge made on Magnolia is not successful. 2 free throws on Bravo.
All right, so the challenge is unsuccessful, and Coach L.A. Tenorio will no longer have a challenge for the rest of the game.
We've been talking about consistency, especially on the part of the offensive player. When the defense messes up with the shooting arm or the shooting hand, it has to be called on a consistent basis. Another consistent call by our referee. The challenge of Coach L.A. Tenorio was unsuccessful. Another free throws awarded to Terrafirma. 50% on that trip for JM Bravo.
Magnolia gets the ball back. Escoto. Ooh, that pass was tapped away by Garcia, but Barroca recovers. Only 7 on the shot clock. Does Mark know? Here's Barroca. Alfaro has to put it up. He does in the nick of time, but misses. Oh, Barroca with a pump fake. Got 2 defenders up and away.
Sometimes hard work will actually give you a lot of scoring options. That is exactly what Baroka did. Quick retaliation by Terrafirma, nothing. Magnolia is now trying to run. They're bothered right now by the zone defense of Terrafirma, but a botch play once again. Turnover for Magnolia.
Here's Hernandez. Sees a lane to the hoop, could not use the board, but he recovers, and Hernandez is fouled. This time it might be Sangalang called for that foul.
We talked about the hard work of Baroka, was rewarded with 2 points. Now the persistence of Hernandez trying to keep the ball alive and attacking courageously. I'll just go back to my point earlier. Magnolia, they've been fouling a lot. We saw that in their game against Meralco, wherein Meralco shot 25 of their 30 free throws. That was a high 82%. And in today's game, Terrafirma already with 16 attempts from the free throw line.
Wow.
That's quite a lot, with still 7:50 remaining in the second quarter.
This might be the most aggressive that I've seen Terrafirma look in a long time.
They're fighting hard. They want to bounce back, get back on the winning track. Another miss, but look at them getting the offensive rebound.
Oh, Alfaro did his best to avoid the contact, but still ran into Ahanmisi. And guess what? More free throws for Terrafirma. There's going to be a lot to talk about on the camp of Magnolia. Coach L.A. Tenorio will surely have a mouthful for his squad. We'll catch you after this timeout.
Everyone! How can they get offensive rebounds with taller than them? Off a free throw! How can we win? How can we get to the next level if we play like this? Simple box out, we cannot do it! Go!
The Dubai game is happening tomorrow, 11 p.m. if you're in the Philippines. But if you're over in Dubai, it's going to be 7 p.m. So make sure you catch that. It's going to be the San Miguel Beermen versus Barangay Nebra San Miguel. How lucky are our kababayans and kapatids over in Dubai? Such a great game they'll be witnessing there. By the way, the next 3 games for Magnolia, they got Phoenix, San Miguel, and TNT lined up. That's going to be a tough stretch. Back-to-back game days, you face the San Miguel Beermen and the TNT Tropang 5G, the 2 teams that made it to the finals of the previous Philippine Cup, which of course was just a few months ago. Another free throw in for Ahanmisi. 2 for 2 this time. And the lead extends further. It's back to 7. 7.5 to go. 35-28 in favor of Terrafirma. Sangalang wants space against Rivero. Baroka reposts Ian. Sangalang, soft touch, no good. But on the rebound play, Escoto was pushed.
Multiple touches for Ian Sangalang. That has been the point of attack for Magnolia. But good thing on the weak side, just staying active, was Escoto. He was fouled, and now Magnolia with another opportunity. Only 28 points so far for Magnolia here in the first or in the second quarter. Add another 2 points for Mark Baroka.
Baroka has been trying to breathe life into Magnolia here in the second quarter. But again, Terrafirma just so active. The best pass still lands in the hands of the Terrafirma Jeep. They got 7 seconds on the clock. Rivero puts up a 3. That's the 9th miss in as many attempts from downtown. Well, from 3-point range at least. Terrafirma does have 2 4-point shots made. Escoto doesn't get the bounce.
They just cannot score every time they run their offense. It's been so bad in terms of percentage from the field for Magnolia.
0 for 10, coach, from three-point range. Again, you saw the graphic on your screens. No three-point makes from either team. But both teams have at least one 4-point shot made.
But the problem right now for Magnolia is, aside from them not shooting at a very high clip from the field, it is also just too much fouling. Can you imagine this stat line? Free throws 13 out of 19 and only 7 attempts so far for Magnolia making 4. That has been the biggest difference maker in this first 2 quarters. 14 out of 20 now. Add another one. 15 out of 21. And we still have over 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
In the first 3 games of Terrafirma, they averaged 20 attempts from the free throw line per game. They've already reached that mark, gone past that mark actually, with, like Coach Ryan said, still half a quarter left in the second period. But Peter Alfaro knocking down the first 3-pointer of this entire game. And I'm talking about both sides of the floor. Here's Anmisi, being chased by Alfaro. Hanapi, the record holder for longest shorts in the PBA right now. Sanggalang wants to get it back, no good. Katapusan with the board. Felt he had advantage against Baroka. But that's just how the ball has rolled for Magnolia. Pun intended. Look at this, a 3-point shot brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook. That's the first time you're hearing that spiel because that's the first made 3-pointer in this game.
Now Magnolia, they're playing good defense, but the problem is just too much fouling. I mean, if they can just actively challenge shots, they have the height to control rebounds. Look at our 3-point shooting. You've been mentioning that all throughout the coverage. You're out of 10, 1 out of 8 for Magnolia. Turnover, offensive foul was called against Saldivar. Missed opportunity for them to score.
This was the screen set by Zaldivar.
He was just moving a little bit. Will there be a challenge? No, there's none.
Alfaro got the brunt of it, but he's okay. He'll stay on the floor. Coach RG, how much does it mess up a system of a team when the outside shot, the 3-point shot is not falling in?
Well, it depends. Both teams are not really getting the kind of rhythm and flow from the outside shot. So it's like it's just gonna cancel out each other. But for Magnolia, it is part of their offense. We all know that because they want to score inside.
Lucero!
So much better in terms of just forcing turnovers, and Lucero getting an easy basket. Their first fast break points here in this game.
Lucero hoping that wakes his team and himself up because he has been quiet on the offensive end. Only 4 points for Xavier Lucero. Screens being given to Ahanmisi. And again, more fouls, more free throws for Terrafirma.
24-12. Great anticipation by Xavier Lucero. Was able to telegraph that pass, and he was just wide open with a slam dunk. 24 points inside the paint for Magnolia, only 12 for Terrafirma. You look at our score, you are just surprised as to why 37 for Magnolia and now 38 for Terrafirma. The reason is just free throws, just a lot of free throws. And we've been saying that all throughout the first 2 quarters of play.
I mean, that's the... Perhaps one could argue that the free throws, only reason why Terrafirma is still ahead at this point. Gab Gomez has checked in, the rookie. Has only played 1 game for Magnolia. Actually, only 3 minutes for Magnolia prior to this stint. Shot way off for Javi GDL. Apologizes to his bench.
0 out of 4 from 3. Mix it up. That is what he needs to do. probably get his confidence from the free throw line by attacking, challenging the defense of Terrafirma. But still, no adjustment on the part of Javi Gomez Diliano.
Sanggalang stop. Gomez on the run. They get it to Gomez Diliano, but they turn it over. Counter-attack for Terrafirma. Hernandez, couple of hesitations, finishing through the foul.
Oh, did you see the way Hernandez was able to attack the defense of Javi Gomez Diliano? He was just so strong, and not only that, no problem with the way he was able to shoot in traffic. Where is the defense of Magnolia in transition?
And Hernandez, you know, he won't really wow you and steal your attention per se, but you look at the stat sheet and say, oh, he's contributed a lot to his team already. He has 6 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of assists, and 1 steal. 5-point lead for Terrafirma.
Oh, Terrafirma doing a good job destroying the rhythm on offense. Magnolia just cannot execute the way they want to. And speaking of just mixing it up, don't just stay beyond the 3-point area or even the 4-point line. First 2 points inside the 3-point area for Javi Gomez Diliano.
Missed his first 3 attempts from deep. Took it closer, made that one. Olivario. Still nothing from the outside, or again, from 3-point range, I should say, for Terrafirma.
0 out of 11?
That's right.
Still nothing from Rainbow Country for Terra.
They're 2 of 3 from 4-point range, though. More turnovers for Magnolia. And, well, Gomez Diliano already has 2 fouls, and that's why he did not want to give up that third one. Ended up as an easy lay-in for Mariano.
Warm-up layup once again for Terrafirma after forcing a TO. Extra pass by Ian Sanggalang. And easy layup, walk along the park for Mariano.
Only a 30-second stoppage that Coach L.A. Tenorio requested for. You usually see this being used in the latter part, usually in the final minute of the second quarter, but he wants to talk things over now because Terrafirma is reinstating their lead. Speaking of Terrafirma, their next 3 games, they got Rain or Shine, TNT, and Phoenix. All of those, of course, going to be played at Inares Centers. The first one in Antipolo, the next 2 in Montalban.
Very deflating stat line on 2 categories for Magnolia. They will scrutinize the numbers for sure, especially during the halftime break. What they will see and zero in is just points off the turnovers. That is 12 points for Terra, only 5 for Magnolia. And the other thing, fast break points. 11 fast break points for Terra and only 2 for Magnolia.
There will be some statistical categories that will surely be brought up in the halftime huddle of Coach L.A. Tenorio.
Seems like an aberration because of course, Magnolia should run their offense better. But the problem is just, again, also turnovers. 11 turnovers for them and only 8 for Terrafirma. So Coach L.A. trying to find the right combination. In comes Eriobu. First time to see action in this ballgame.
Thanks for joining us again on PBA Rush. We take a look at something that we've been talking about this entire first half. Terrafirma forcing Magnolia into turnovers and capitalizing on those.
And uncharacteristic for Magnolia, because what they're trying to do is just follow the pattern on offense, even if there is like a possible hand to deflect by Terrafirma. That has been the issue. And there are two issues right now. Fast break points, totally dominated by Terrafirma. And free throw attempts also. Just a lot of attempts for Terrafirma in the first two quarters. Javi Gomez de Leaño with 3 turnovers. Xavier Lucero also with 3 turnovers. Good thing Magnolia is trying to clamp down on defense, forcing a turnover. Let's see if they can get a productive possession here to turn a turnover of Terrafirma into precious points for them.
Coach, that department, free throws, we've been harping on it over and over again. And the thing is, it's starting to be concerning for Magnolia because that loss against Meralco, they also gave the Bolts 30 free throw attempts, which the Bolts converted 25 off.
That was just the difference. And now Xavier Lucero finding his mark from the perimeter. That is just what they need to do. Just look for easy shots.
Well, the good thing about the hot shots is they're still hanging in there.
Yes, only down by 3.
Mariano felt like he could take a Ryobu easily, but Boo stayed strong. Got the stop. De La Rosa wants it against Bravo. A Ryobu using the right hand. No good. And that ends up to be something that, you know, saves the day for Joseph Eriobu because it will stay with Magnolia.
And Eriobu just attacked, and I thought it was not part of the offense. He was just trying to be aggressive. Good thing the ball will end up on their court.
He was bailed out by Terrafirma. Terrafirma's inability to secure possession. And then it leads to this. A baseline inbounds play that lobbed it up to De La Rosa. Got fouled. Now at the line.
Well, as bad as Magnolia is playing, as bad as they are being undisciplined on defense by too much fouling, you look at our score and they're only down by 3 points. Now, after that first free throw of De La Rosa, they're only down 2. So they will settle, I'm certain about that. Coach L.A. Tenorio will find the right combination. A team that will not throw the ball over a lot of times, or a unit wherein they will just simply buckle down on defense without fouling.
Well, here De La Rosa has a chance to trim deficit down to 1. He does so. 1:40 left in the first half. If you're just joining us, Terrafirma led by as many as 11 points. And they've pretty much held the lead for most of this first half. Hernandez against Eriobu. Couple of former Mapua Cardinals, different generations. Hernandez hits the midi J.
I thought for a while he lost his rhythm because of that deflection, but found a tiny space to launch his perimeter J. 8 total points for Hernandez.
Gomez for 3. Ties the game up.
That is why they got him over here. Was not available in the first few games for Magnolia. First time to see action in this game, and announcing his entry with a booming 3.
Hernandez with a fishing expedition. Oh, the referee Joel Baldag calls it a rip-through. It's only a sideline inbound.
It doesn't matter because Terrafirma is already in team penalty.
But let's take a look at this. A 3-point shot brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook, courtesy of Gab Gomez.
I mean, Terrafirma will trip to the line because Magnolia is in team penalty, and that is a very intelligent play by Hernandez.
That's the second time, Coach, that he's found himself at the line because of his smarts. Earlier, he had a fast break situation against a terrific defender in Xavier Lucero. He caged Xavier Lucero and put Lucero in an awkward situation. That's how Hernandez got fouled. You have to love the smarts of this young man.
Only 50% on that trip, but the 25th and the 26th free throw already for Terrafirma.
Way too many for any standard, that is. Lucero missing. De La Rosa coming out of nowhere. Gomez back out to Rome, his favorite corner. 3 on the way, count that.
Gomez doing spectacular things right now for Magnolia. He was able to drive, froze the defense, dished off that spray pass to De La Rosa, and De La Rosa hit the bottom of the net.
Gab Gomez just hit a 3, the other possession. He could have taken this one, but found a better shot for Rome De La Rosa. Another 3-point shot brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook. And just like that, Magnolia now ahead by 2, 49-47. When you make your outside shots, good things happen for you.
For Magnolia, the template is very simple. Just don't throw the ball over. Because in the last 2 possessions, both were productive plays for them. Well executed, Gomez hitting a 3. And the next play, he attacked the basket. He was able to draw a lot of defenders, and that freed up De La Rosa for another 3. So 6 straight points in the last 2 possessions for the Hotshots.
Rome De La Rosa has really become a weapon from the corner, Coach. If your life depended on a corner 3, you would definitely call on the names of Rome De La Rosa, maybe Anthony Semerat.
Racal.
Kevin Racal, that's right. Ahan Misi. Good defense by Lastimosa. And Terrafirma unable to save it. Coach, not only is Magnolia taking better care of the ball, they're forcing Terrafirma to turnovers.
Yes, and they're more poised right now. No bailout fouls right now for Magnolia. And now they have a chance to shoot in the last 10.7 seconds. Last shot for Magnolia.
After trailing for practically the entire first half, Magnolia looks like they're going to be taking a lead into their halftime huddle. Lucero attacking the closeout. A foul called on Mariano with a second left on the game clock.
It will be challenged by Coach Ronald Tubid. And Aljon Mariano was very confident that he was sliding backwards. It was Xavier Lucero who was aggressively attacking the defense of Mariano. And Coach Tubid feels like, at best, it should be let go. Let's see.
Coach Eli Tenorio earlier already used his challenge and was not successful.
Look at the defense.
Oh, allow me to correct myself. It was... Oh yeah, it was Mariano eventually.
Oh, probably. Who was called for a foul? Was it Mariano or was it... Because JM was...
No, I think JM let go.
It was not enough for JM to be called for a defensive foul.
It's Aljon who's actively contesting the call, so I think the foul was initially on him. But that's the challenge now, Coach, something that the PBA introduced. We're not just looking at the specific situation that was challenged. We're looking at the whole play, and we want to get the correct decision. So let's say if it was a teammate, a different guy who pushed the defender, the foul will be on whoever was supposed to be called on.
After the review, hindi na-establish ni Aljon Mariano ang initial legal guarding position, kaya natawagan ng blocking foul. Therefore, ang challenge ng Terrafirma ay not successful.
Very well said and well explained by crew chief Joel Baldago.
Well, we see this. He was not able to establish his normal guarding position, meaning he was not able to get the right balance. He impeded the penetrating lane of Xavier Lucero, and as a result, a blocking foul was called against him, and the challenge of Ronald Tubid was unsuccessful.
So no more challenges
No
the rest
more.
of the way.
Yes, it's going to be a quicker second half for us.
Absolutely. Can we take a second to appreciate our referees? You know, it's a lot for them to stand in front of the camera and talk to an entire arena to explain a call, but they're doing it for the love of the game and for the betterment of the PBA as a league, as a product, as a game. The first half ends, Magnolia up by 3, and it took them around 23 minutes to gather their bearings, but they took the lead in the final minute. But we have to talk about the Babad player of the half, brought to you by Devan. Enjoy unforgettable TV Babad moments with your family, only with Devan. It's JM Bravo.
And what is showing is his impeccable shooting from the outside, from the 2 points for JM Bravo, but his team is down by 3 points at the end of 24.
Happy Saturday mga ka-PBA. My name is Bea Escudero, patrolling the sidelines for this match between Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots and the Terrafirma Dyip. Now, we all know they are both eyeing to bounce back from the recent losses. Now, as we head back to the game, the halftime mark of the ball game is currently at 50-47 in favor of Magnolia. And as what I mentioned, we would like to congratulate, before we get back to the ball game, our golden boy, Carlos Yulo, who recently bagged the gold medal for the vault apparatus at the 53rd Artistics Gymnastics World Championships in Jakarta, Indonesia. Grabe, napakahusay naman talaga ang ating atletang Pinoy. There's definitely a lot of pride for all of us. And of course, congratulations once again to Carlos Yulo. And speaking of pride, as we all know, the PBA is going global this weekend. In Dubai, we recently have the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel and the San Miguel Beermen. They arrived in Dubai a few days ago. And as you can see on your screens, they did have a quick meet and greet with the PBA fans over at UAE. There you have it, Junmar Fajardo and the rest of the San Miguel Beermen. Definitely exciting times, which is why to all our PBA fans over at Dubai, make sure to book your tickets as they will be playing at the Coca-Cola Arena. That is October 26, 2025 at 7 p.m. Dubai time. And of course, other than that, we will be also heading to CDO Cagayan de Oro for the game between the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters and the Tinti Tropang 5G. That is on November 15th, Saturday. That is at 7 p.m. So make sure to grab your tickets now. Now, before we get back to the exciting basketball action between the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots and the Terrafirma Dyip, let's put the spotlight on one of the promising stars, the rookie, rather, of the Terrafirma Dyip, none other than JM Bravo.
Terrafirma Dyip selects John Matthew Bravo.
And JM Bravo, the rookie, what a performance.
I mean, he made a major contributor. He was a major contributor. He stepped up big time, and he proved to one and all that he deserves, the playing minutes that he has on the court.
Nagsimula yung journey ko sa basketball. Siguro dahil sa kuya ko. Kaya accident noong 2015 sa motor. Then, pangarap niya rin kasi makapasok sa professional league. Noong time na yun, sinabi ko sa kanya na papangako sa kanya na ako magtutuloy ng mga pangarap niya. Then, yun, dito ako ngayon. Noong high school naman ako siguro, nakita ko ni Coach Copex. Kaya napunta ako sa Lyceum. Binigyan niya ako ng chance. Kaso nawala din si Coach Copex. Ang nag-handle sa akin, si Coach Gilbert, at sila Coach Jeff. Binigyan nila ako ng chance maglaro sa, sa LPU. Yun. So, unti-unti na nakapunta ako sa PBA kasi isa rin sa pinangako sa tatay ko yun, simula na namatay siya. Si kuya kasi, nung time na yun, totally nasa UE siya. Nasa Team B siya sa UE. Mga January ata yun, na-aksidente siya sa motor. Pabalik ulit dapat siya ng UE. Yun, kumbaga, doon lahat na sira lahat ng pangarap niya sa buhay. Bata pa ako, maliit pa ako eh. Siguro mga 13 years old ata ako, mga 12 years old. Sabi ko sa kanya, kuya, ano ba gusto mo para sa akin? Gusto mo ako na magtuloy ng pangarap mo. Kinausap niya ako noon, sabi niya, tuloy mo yung pangarap na gusto ko. Alam ko, kaya mo. So yun, unti-unti, ginagawa ko naman lahat ng best ko. Simula nung LM ako, sabi ko sa kanya, eto, marunong ako mag-basketball, ganyan. Wala, dati adik lang ako sa computer eh. Hindi ako marunong mag-basketball eh. Kundi dahil sa kuya ko talaga, wala rin ako dito. Sabi ko din struggle, lalo nung college ako. Nung na-selfie ako, nung na-accident nga ako, na nawalan ako ng malay. Na-knockout kasi ako nung time na yun. Kala ko hindi na ako makakapaglaro ulit. Kala ko, yun na yung tapos ng karir ko. Then, dahil nagsasabi na wala na si Bravo, ganyan. Kasi ganito ang nangyari, hindi na makakabalik yan. Pero hindi ko na inisip yun. Mas inisip ko na lang kung makakabalik ba ako sa passion na gusto ko. Yun, nagpursige ako at nangangarap ulit. Parang bumalik ako sa zero eh. Kasi syempre, nawala nga yung ano ko. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, hindi ko paghihinayang yun kasi mas gusto ko na lang lumaban ulit at ipakita sa lahat na kaya ko pa ulit lumaban.
The first pick of the 6th round, ang napili ng Terrafirma Dyip.
Na-feel ko kasi parang naiwan na ako sa isang upuan na lang. Ako na natitira. Akala ko hindi na ako makakuha. Then, nung tinawag yung pangalan ko ni Sean Umali, parang gumaan yung pakiramdam ko. Pero, nandun yung matog eh. Kasi syempre, masaya sa feeling. Di ko alam kung ano yung gagawin ko na umaapa ko sa ibabaw ng stage na nakuha ko ng Terrafirma. Yun, sobrang saya ko, lalo na pag-uwi ko. Yung family ko, sobrang saya kasi nakuha ko ng Terrafirma at na-drop ako sa PBA. Siguro, kung ano naman ma-achieve ko sa buhay, sa PBA, siguro si Lord na magsasabi sa akin. Magtitiwala na ako kay Lord kung ano man ibigay niya sa akin. Yun na yun.
Not a good sign for the Elasa Painters.
Last shot time for Rainer Shine. Nocum trying to force it. Walang nakuha doon. Perez for 4. CJ from way downtown.
And what a way to end the first 2 quarters of action. CJ Perez stopping and nonchalantly taking the shot from beyond the 4-point line. Usually sa 4th quarter lang nangyayari yan eh. Hindi na pwede mag-foul ang TNT.
Barrientos puts it up. Oh! Wow. You know, if you're TNT, that's the worst possible way. But then,
it's a desperation shot
at the buzzer.
RJ Barrientos.
That's going to be three tries to basket, Charlie. This is the third. 3 to shoot. He's trapped. He gets away. Goes up. Woo! Hung in the air. And then threw it up with his right hand. What a shot. Good.
Santillan also making his debut para sa Rainer Shine. Look at Gabe Norwood! Nahiya!
Alam mo kung ganito pa rin ang pinapakita ni Norwood?
Wala na Chris Newsom. 6 fouls na po siya. Cancino now with it. Down to 9 on the shot clock.
What's CJ gonna do? Takes the J. Off the glass. Off the glass.
That's how you make your bones, my friend. Sanay na siya sa mga malalaking tira na rin na gano'n. Sinasanay niya sarili niya. Walang problema. Back shot para dito kaya CJ Cancino. They have to lead, my friend.
Sabi ni CJ Cancino, okay, fellow Maroon, you can hit a big shot. I'll hit one too.
We've reached the fold inside the Inares Center in Antipolo in what has been a neck-and-neck battle between the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots and the Terrafirma Dyip. You have to love Coach Archie, the response that these two teams are showing after absorbing losses in their previous games. Right now, Magnolia's up by 3.
Well, it's just a lucky period for Magnolia to be up by 3 points. They've not been playing the kind of basketball that they want to play. They only scored 20 points in the first quarter, but good thing they erupted for 30 in the second quarter. But if there's one thing that they need to improve on, it's really sprinting down on defense and defending the fast break attack of Terrafirma. Look at those numbers, 13-2 advantage for Terrafirma. Good thing because of their tenacity and hard work in getting and crashing the offensive rebounds, they were able to generate 10 points via the second chance opportunity and only 2 for Terrafirma. Points off the turnovers, also Terrafirma 14-8 points inside the paint. That was really a close one, but the biggest thing here is the contribution of the other players. You look at Magnolia, 7 for De La Rosa, 7 for Lucero, 7 for Sangalang, and 6 for Baroka. But I thought the spark came from Gomez towards the end of the second quarter. Just a little over 4 minutes of basketball playing time, but he did wonderful things. In the minutes that he was inside, his team was actually +5.
That's right, and Gomez did hit
a three-pointer, dished out 3 assists. Rome De La Rosa also was on the floor for that comeback run that Magnolia mounted. Of course, they're not safe yet. They need to put together a strong second half as well. But guys like Luis Sangalang, we saw on your screens earlier, Paulo Hernandez, they've been trying to lead the fight for the Terrafirma Dyip.
Correct, but you look at the coaching staff of Coach L.A. Tenorio, Coach Kirk Collier was there trying to holler instructions to Ian Sangalang. If there is one thing that Magnolia needs to improve on, that is staying disciplined on defense. 4 stops without fouling. Can you imagine these numbers? 7 total attempts in the first quarter from the free throw line for Terrafirma, but 19 in the second quarter. So what they've given away is a total of 26 free throws already. And Terrafirma knocking down 19. So that is one aspect in the game wherein Magnolia needs to improve on, playing D without bailing out their opponent.
Imagine we did show 3 players from Terrafirma who have 9 points already. Hernandez, Sangalang, and Bravo. Let's focus in on Hernandez and Sangalang. Out of the 9 of Paulo Hernandez, 5 came from the free throw line. Out of the 9 of Luis Sangalang, 7 came from the free throw line. So Coach RG, you're absolutely correct in that being a major problem for Magnolia. We did mention against Meralco, they also allowed the ball to 30 free throw attempts.
And you just don't like the trend. Because against Meralco, I thought 30 allowed free throws is already too much. But we're only in the first 2 quarters of play. And the numbers are just too staggering for any basketball coach. Can you imagine allowing your opponent to get to the line 26 times unmolested? No challenge from the free throw line. And that is why Terrafirma is still within striking distance.
Not to take credit away from the Dyip, who definitely made that possible with their tenacity, like you said, Coach, in attacking. Hernandez this time takes it from the outside. Could be a landing spot infraction, and I think our official will take a look at that. Oh, a pushing foul is what Gomez Del Llano is called for. I stand corrected. No review or whatsoever for a landing spot, but a pushing foul.
Now Gomez Del Llano has to slow down a little bit. Enjoy and first enjoy the game, because he is just not playing with his normal pace and normal understanding of the game because of his turnovers. So he wants to get it back by just doing extraordinary things. But in doing so, he's not, or he is losing whatever balance he has also on the defensive end. Another free throws awarded to Terrafirma because of not having that control and challenging that shot of Hernandez.
We spent about a good 3 minutes maybe talking about the free throws that Magnolia has allowed. And in the very first play of the third quarter, they allowed 3 more free throws. Here's Javi. But you have to appreciate also the trust that Coach L.A.
Exactly. That's a very good point, Jot. Because Gomez Del Llano did not really play well enough to get the minutes or the starting call-up by Coach L.A. Tenorio to start the third quarter. Did not make threes, was turning the ball over at a very high pace, and yet look at him playing to start the third quarter for his team.
Also, foul riddled as he has 3 already. They swing it. Lastimosa going to De La Rosa. Nice fake for Rome, and he gets it in, but that will be reviewed though.
But good understanding and presence of mind for Rome De La Rosa to attack the basket because of a possibility to get a turnover because of a 21st second violation. 3-point advantage once again for Magnolia.
Paraiso goes downhill. No success. Lucero, he has 3 white shirts in front of him, and that forced him to miss. Counter-attack, Hernandez. Perhaps looking for a foul there. No whistle, Bravo overcooks the shot. Rebound taken by Hernandez. Terrafirma will reset. You know, someone we're not seeing on the side of the Terrafirma Dyip coach is Mark Nonoy.
That's a good point.
curious to see because he has been getting a lot of minutes for Coach Ronald Tubid. And oh, there you go. The floater that Rome made earlier is nullified because it was ruled a shot clock violation. So they take 2 points away from Magnolia after reviewing that.
Good ice, Jot. You can be part of the technical committee of the PBA.
I think I'm good where I'm seated, Coach. I'd rather sit beside you. Oh, the job that our technical team, our referees have, no easy job. We don't envy them at all.
Really tough to be part of that crew's specialized function, and they always have to stay focused every time there is something that is happening inside. And look at our shot clock at the top of the goal. It's very obvious. The ball was still in the hands of De La Rosa when he was attempting that basket.
But we have to talk about the changes that the PBA has introduced in Season 50 as well. We go back to the finals of the Philippine Cup. There was a controversial goaltending call on Mo Tautua in Game 1 of the finals. Now, to address a potential situation like that, the PBA will make changes in the final 2 minutes of games where referees will have to stop the game immediately to review these calls. And if they aren't reviewed immediately, whether it was a call or a non-call, it will have to stay.
And there are a lot of innovations right now, a lot of changes in our rules. Another one is if you have a legitimate attempt, even if it does not hit the rim, the offensive player gets it, it's play on. So those are the things that we need to be re-educated or educated for that matter, because we're really adopting FIBA rules as part of our guidelines in the PBA.
Lastimosa drops it to Laput, clobbered by defenders, but used his footwork to get open for the reverse layup.
Not showing panic, and every time he gets that ball inside, automatically he has an advantage because of his height, his heft, and his ability to just score underneath the rim.
Zaldivar sees an opening. Jumper falls in.
Surprise perimeter jumper by Zaldivar. Mano y mano, if you can do it, I can do it as well, as if telling Laput that time, and using his quickness. It is just so hard to defend against Lastimosa. He's very slippery and is always in control. Even in traffic, he can score against a phalanx of defenders.
Are we ready, Coach, to call for Magnolia that they're maybe Lucero's and Lastimosa's team now? And not exactly Mark Barocas anymore?
Yes. That is very obvious with the way Coach L.A. Tenorio is giving quality minutes for these two players. And aside from that, the keys in running the offense is given to Jerome Lastimosa.
Well, there was a wrestling match underneath the basket between two guys who are very familiar with each other. Keith Zaldivar, James Laput, both spent a lot of time together in Magnolia. This was early work for Laput. Well, Zaldivar was trying to deny him the position.
It's just a regular foul. I don't think it will be upgraded. And also the temperament of these two players, they're not really known to be dirty players. So, as expected, just a foul against Zaldivar.
But that will be foul number 3 for Terrafirma. Magnolia so far has only given up 1 foul. So I think we can call that already an improvement from what happened in the second quarter. Like you said, Coach, 19 free throw attempts for Terrafirma. That's only in the second quarter.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the coaching staff of Magnolia just reminded their players, just play honest defense and no bailouts this time. That's a step on Laput. Good defense by Terrafirma that time, not allowing Laput to go closer to the basket. And as a result, losing his balance.
If only his feet were 2 sizes smaller.
Easily 17, probably if it's just like 16.
But also, Coach, the presence of mind for JM Bravo to give
yes.
that small bump whenever Laput receives the ball.
What you need to do is, if you're undersized, make sure you push out whoever you're guarding against. And now, speaking of great execution on offense, it is very important for Terrafirma to get easy points because of unselfishness. Can you imagine Missy finding himself wide open on that layup?
But so was De La Rosa. However, he misses on the 3. Magnolia resets. They've been starting their offense with Laput in the post. He's trying to get it again against Bravo. Gomez Del Llano to Lastimosa. Had to take it. The shot, no go. Running start for Paraiso and Terrafirma. And Misi loses his footing. Sanggalang from deep. No good. Bravo with the offensive rebound. JM Bravo has proven to be a workhorse, and he gets rewarded. Look at him. No one boxing him out. Let me get that. Let me get 2 points.
And always difficult to get or guard somebody who is attacking from the outside. Nobody in front of a JM Bravo. Again, was not just able to complete his 3-point play, but don't look now. Terrafirma within striking distance once again, only down by a basket or 1 point.
The Jeep just refused to get left behind, but Lastimosa says, "Diyan lang kayo."
Good things happen with the way Magnolia is playing offense. Every time the ball is dumped inside, there's no reason for the big guys to shoot and look for their scoring options right away. Just wait for the defense to react and make the necessary pass. Lastimosa found himself open for a 3, and another stop here for Magnolia. A chance for them to increase their 4-point advantage.
Lucero has a lane. Leaves it to De La Rosa. Reset Lastimosa. Lucero rises over the defense. No good. And that's going to be Magnolia basketball. Fresh 14 for them. Garcia checks in for Paraiso as we take a look at another 3-point shot brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook. The first 3-pointer from Jerome Lastimosa in this game.
The difference is just let whoever is inside get a quick touch. And you have a lot of unselfish players here for Magnolia, willing to make the extra pass. And speaking of just getting into a good rhythm, quick touch pass by Jerome Lastimosa, finding Javi Gomez Del Llano, knocking down his first 3-pointer in the game.
What a move by Sanggalang, though. We've been saying it, we said it a lot in the second quarter that Magnolia was missing their 3-pointers, and so was Terrafirma. Magnolia now has 5 makes. Terrafirma still 0 of 13.
And now what happens if you start shooting from the outside? The tendency of the defense is to rush out long. Now, Jerome Lastimosa, with his understanding of advantages, was able to blow by Luis Sanggalang for another layup. 0 out of 13. We're talking about 3-point shooting. Still nothing from deep for Terrafirma. And you've mentioned it. More 3s right now for Magnolia.
Javi adamant that he did not foul Bravo on that attempt, but no more challenge for Coach L.A. Tenorio, so that will be the 4th personal foul on Gomez Del Llano.
The ball is reversal ball. It should drop down. The ball reverse, drop down. Drop down. AGM na to eh. Huwag mong kunin. Doon tayo sumasabog. Kapag kinuha mo, paano reverse, napapalukas tuloy yung mga big natin. Dapat hindi ganun. Area by area. So area ng wing to, ito yung area mo. Clear? Ito yung area mo. Pag yung tao mo kumat, you follow. Free throw. So 21 to 31. Okay?
You're still watching the PBA Season 50 Philippine Cup. Magnolia, Terrafirma, right here at the Inari Center in Antipolo. John Sulit with Coach Ryan Gregorio. If you're like us and you were looking for Mark Nonoy, we got word from Ms. Bea Escudero that he had a checkup. He has a checkup on his left hamstring because there's a suspected strain that he sustained in their last game against Converge. So there's actually a checkup on Tuesday. Might take some time, Coach, before they're able to rule any injury out and get Nonoy cleared for game action.
He is definitely missed by Terrafirma. You know, the speed of Mark Nonoy. We saw the numbers in the first 2 quarters wherein Terrafirma just scored more fast break points. Can you imagine, with a healthy Nonoy, what kind of breakneck pace was lost because of the absence of Mark? But now the difference is more fluid with their execution. They're getting better shots. They're not hurrying up. They're not turning the ball over. They're taking quality shots right now, and that is why Magnolia is up by 7.
At one point in the second quarter, Terrafirma was actually up by 11 points. That remains to be the biggest lead enjoyed by either team in this contest. But Magnolia, since waking up late in that second period, has not looked back. Here's Hernandez. Lone guy in, one of 3 guys rather, in double figures for Terrafirma. Ahanmisi doesn't get it. Sangalang tried to take that rebound away from Laput, but in doing so, fouls James Laput.
Not a lot of bailouts defensively now for Magnolia. They're just challenging. They're just forcing Terrafirma to miss shots from the outside. 0 out of 15 from Rainbow Country for the white shirts. And Magnolia, they're just playing better here in the third quarter. And speaking of bailout fouls, a bailout foul was called against Luis Sangalang. And now Xavier Lucero will shoot to the free throw line. Slowly but surely, the momentum is now on the side of Magnolia.
That's back-to-back fouls on Sangalang too, but Lucero unable to knock down that free throw.
Only 7 points so far for Xavier Lucero. He was just brilliant in the first 2 games, averaging 20 points per ball game. Both wins for Magnolia, dropped a little bit against Meralco, was held scoreless in the first half, but still was able to finish the game with 14 points, but they just lost by 2, 78-76. And that was in Montalban, in Inari Center in Montalban last week.
I think we should implore our fans, PBA fans, to catch games in Montalban because it's a nice arena. Awa Garcia hitting a 3-pointer. Once played for Barangay Ginebra, now finds his way to Terrafirma. Alfaro to Lee, open. Paul Lee missing the 3. Running start for Terrafirma. Garcia finishes off the pass from Ahanmisi.
Sensational 5 straight points for Garcia. First, they were able to break their miserable shooting from the 3 by knocking down that shot from the deep corner, and they forced a stop. Paulie missed a 3-pointer, long rebound, result, fast break attack, finishing off with his left hand.
Hit na hit sa mga bagets. O yan na, yan ang mga Sadja boys natin dito sa Inares. Handang-handa naman ang ating mga kapibi. Ayan! Ang ating mga cutie, handang-handang sumayaw. Bigay na bigay ang best move.
Rivero. Ball screen. Pero kung nandito ka, ikaw dapat. Okay. May pick sa akin.
Paul. Ikaw dapat yun. Si Paul ang bababa. Okay?
Jerick Ahanmisi, like we've been saying, Coach, he's become the main man for Terrafirma. However, not having the best scoring performance in today's game.
But still spectacular. With his numbers in the first 3 games, 18.3 points per ball game, 31 minutes was his average in the first 3 games. And this is exactly the platform that he was wishing he had when he was playing for Magnolia. But Magnolia was just so packed, especially in the position that he plays. But with Terrafirma, he's getting the minutes and he is producing fantastic numbers for his team.
Verano getting some burn now from Coach L.A. Tenorio. He missed on that jumper. Hernandez. Garcia sitting on that corner, but it's Ahanmisi who uncorks a long shot. No good. The effort of Garcia got them this extra possession. Mariano leaves it up for Ahanmisi. What a play from the Jeep.
And what you like with Ahanmisi is even if he's struggling from the outside, he's still finding ways to try to contribute in the scoring department for his team. Time and again, we're seeing him attacking the basket, knocking down shots on layups, cutting from the weak side, and always being rewarded by his unselfish teammates. Mariano, great dish off to the cutting Ahanmisi. So 0 threes, and yet he now has a total of 10, plus 1 free throw, 11 total points for Ahanmisi.
I think that's what was unlocked also with Jerick's game. Because, like you said, with Magnolia, he was limited to a specific role.
Spot up,
yeah,
floor
exactly.
spacer, shoot when open.
Here's Lee. Cross closer. A double foul called underneath.
It happened on the weak side. Paul Lee had the ball, he took that shot, and they will review what happened on the weak side. There was a collision between Prince Rivero, and I'm not sure if it's Ian Sangalang or Save Lucero.
Rivero looking like he really prepared for this PBA comeback. Shed a lot of pounds, looking much leaner now.
But the question is, are they gonna count the shot of Paul Lee?
That's true, and Paul obviously hoping they do. Oh, they do. They count the basket.
Did. So offensive foul on the weak side was called against Ian Sangalang.
Okay, so initially it was called a double foul,
Yes.
as you saw from the motion of referee Joel Baldago. But upon review, only a foul on Sangalang.
And you can hear Paul Lee give a sigh of relief. His shot was counted, only his 5th point in this game.
Mariano scoring.
Wow, Mariano. And Terrafirma up by 1 point.
Have reclaimed the lead. Lee again. They go inside. Sangalang, no one stopping him now.
And no
that
one
deep.
Oh, yes. 2 big guys playing alongside each other. We're talking about Sangalang and Lucero against the smaller defenders. Terrafirma will have a hard time containing Ian Sangalang if he is that close to the rim.
9 quiet points for Ian Sangalang. Aljon Mariano has back-to-back hits. They're making him work though on the defensive end. He's the one assigned to Ian Sangalang.
They had a lot of success using this kind of a defense earlier. A lot of switching defense, a lot of zone look.
Lee for 4. Paul Lee again!
And finally, if the defense is clogging the paint, that will leave Paul Lee open for an outside shot. And it is just a matter of time, partner. Paul Lee is waxing hot in this ball game.
2 4-point baskets already for the guy who led the league in 4-point shots made in the first season that we started having that 4-point line.
And that is part of what we call it. We've labeled it as Paul Lee country.
Others will really have a hard time shooting from that range or from that distance, but it is just another day in the office for Paul Lee. And you've said it, 4-point shot, 2 times made already in this game, a total of 10 points. His confidence high. Can you imagine that?
Well, actually, after his first shot,
He
already had
his confidence. And the reason is, we've talked about that at the start of our coverage. 0 in their first game against Ginebra, 0 against Titan, 2 in their last game against Meralco. No field goals, only 2 out of 2 shooting from the free throw line. 0.7% was his average in the first 3, and now a total of 10 for the lethal weapon.
You said it was only a matter of time.
Yes.
Sangalang looking for a teammate. He finds Verano. Lee. By the get into Escoto. Escoto was fouled, and that will send him to the free throw line as Terrafirma is in penalty.
Now a little difficult with that kind of defense that Terrafirma is employing, because now they have to guard Ian Sangalang near the rim, and also Paul Lee, who's shooting from the outside. So it will be a lot difficult to contain this offensive attack of Magnolia. Now, speaking of guys who are definitely stepping up, embracing the system of Coach L.A. Tenorio, this guy, 13.5 points per ball game in the last 2 games. In his 153 career games in the PBA, he was only good for 3.7 points per ball game. Such a huge upgrade, this confidence. And we're talking about the shooting display and the productivity of Escoto.
And you know, when you talk about Russell Escoto, that's a guy who battled through adversity in his career. He was having a great run with the San Miguel Beermen when he tore his ACL and had a hard time to get back into the rotation of the teams that he jumped around with, but finally getting into the rotation of Magnolia.
Oh, they were very, very patient, and the trust accorded to Russell Escoto is being rewarded with positive performance. That is really good. And speaking of another Escoto, Richard Escoto had a brilliant game yesterday.
Yes.
Scoring 20 big points. And it's just unfortunate that they dropped that one against Rain or Shine. But that was exemplary. One of the best games that I've seen Richard Escoto play.
Well, Russell says, talk about me, but he got blocked.
I'm sorry.
Defender said no.
I'm sure the family, they're happy that the Escotos are being mentioned.
Mariano found a way to get that to fall. And he has given Terrafirma the lead once again. Paul Lee. He has 8 to work with. Shot clock is off. Alfaro out to Lee. Paul again. Not that time. Sangalang could not save the day. And that's how the third quarter ends. Somehow, Terrafirma reclaiming the lead. And that was through the brilliance of Aljon Mariano. Enough effort to bring a 1-point lead, 76-75, into the final 12 minutes of this ball game.
Go to the corner. Big. Right. Another big. Hey, we pass the ball to the corner. Hey, this guy cut baseline. Hey, cut baseline, Phil. Dribble up. Then.
If you haven't caught you didn't catch the first 3 quarters, you missed a lot, because this has been one heck of a ball game. Terrafirma has gotten a lot from running. They have 15 fast break points And they've limited Magnolia to just 2. They've kept on running. And that's how they led most of the first half. However, for Magnolia, they have found success from beyond the arc. Not only from 3-point range, but from 4-point range as well, where they have a couple of makes courtesy of Paulie. But they do have 5 3-pointers as compared to just 1 from Terrafirma. And that's how both teams have scored. But entering the final frame, Coach RG, 1-point lead for Terrafirma.
Oh, Terrafirma, just focus in today's ball game. They want to break the 8th season and 20-game losing streak against Magnolia franchise. And speaking of that one, I would just like to thank, of course, our friend Fidel Mangonon, who's watching in today's ball game together with Jonas Tirado and Vetchay Reyes. They're in Dubai.
Ooh.
Waiting for the game between San Miguel and Barangay Ginebra.
While we're waiting to watch PBA in Dubai, over in Dubai, they're watching PBA in Antipolo. Oh, thank you guys. Of course, those are some of our peers and colleagues, hardworking people bring you the best of the PBA. Alfaro. Merano open on the right side. Rafi just hit one. Makes it back-to-back.
It is always a joy to watch for guys who are seldom used. The moment they're given the minutes to prove that they belong in the PBA, all of a sudden they produce the necessary numbers. And I've said it so many times before, this guy is for keeps. This guy will stay for this team for a very long time.
Rafi Verano, at some point in the offseason, found himself teamless, finds his way to Magnolia and knocks down back-to-back threes.
Forward pass, right away, brush. Pag wala, Tommy na to, Brento, Pauko, forward pass. Pag wala, reverse it foul, yeah. Louis, stay under, Brent, then go, atake ka.
Substitutions, Brent Paraiso for Jeric Ahanisi.
Magnolia again has reclaimed the lead courtesy of one man, Coach RG, and that's Rafi Verano with 2 3-pointers to open the fourth quarter.
And single-handedly bring his team back to the driver's seat. Still nothing in the fourth quarter for Terrafirma. We ended our first 36 minutes with them scoring 76 points. And Coach Ronald Tubig calling an early timeout to put semblance of quality offensive execution for his team.
Sangalang versus Sangalang. Ian with the stop. Alfaro slows down but passes to a shooter, but that shooter is now his coach.
Not a very good sign. He was committed up there with no sure pass. And high school coaches would always say, don't jump and pass. Make sure you go fundamentally sound to minimize your turnovers.
When he was gathering, he looked like he was ready to shoot. But saw the defense there bothered him.
The only guy who has mastered that craft is Tyrese Halliburton. He can jump and decide what he wants to do in the air.
Olivario tried to get past Lee. A foul called on Paul. And that's 2 shots for Tommy.
You see this again? He was committed up there and not knowing who's the open teammate. Found L.A. Tenorio. Unfortunately, L.A. Tenorio is wearing black. He's not wearing blue.
I'm pretty sure if L.A. took the shot, he would have made it, but it wouldn't have counted either.
Because he's stepping
out of bounds.
But he can still play. We all know that. I mean, he can still be active as part of the roster of Magnolia.
And if you guys saw the official roster that was released by the PBA, Coach Archie listed under injured or reserved was L.A. Tenorio. So at any point, if they decide to activate L.A. Tenorio, he can be a playing coach for Magnolia.
For sure.
And it's going to be something that we will all have to kind of get used to. Although he did play for Magnolia before, technically, right? Under the San Miguel
That's
franchise.
correct, yes.
He did wear a Magnolia uniform already. 4-point lead for the Hotshots. Verano, who has hit a couple of threes. Starts late. Ball to the cup. Fouled by Paraiso.
Two free throws for Polly. And the total number of free throws for Magnolia, 17 so far, knocking down 10 for a shade under 60%. What about Terrafirma? 39 free throws allowed by the defense of Magnolia, making 28. So a shade below 72%. Partner, that's a lot of free throws. It's still 9 and 39 remaining. I thought they should have adjusted after losing by 2 points against Meralco, and Meralco shooting 30 free throws, making 25. So it is something that they really have to work on. Playing defense without fouling. You can be aggressive without putting your opponent to the free throw line.
You know, that's the only thing that has kept Terrafirma in the fight, because they've been ice cold from three-point range, 1 of 18. But to get 28 points from the free throw line with 9 and 18 left in the game, that will surely give you a boost.
And that is why Terrafirma are still within striking distance, only down by 6 points. But only 1 point to show here in the fourth quarter.
Louis versus Ian. Good stop by the Hotshots. And a foul called on Bravo as he hit Escoto on the head.
Tougher shot, or tougher shots as a team right now for Terrafirma. Defense ganging up on the shooters of Terrafirma. So much better for Magnolia. They have outscored their opponent here in the fourth quarter, 8-1. And thanks to Verano, 6 points out of the 8 total here for the Hotshots. But Verano is now on the bench.
Alfaro is swinging that ball. 5 to shoot for the Hotshots. Alfaro for 4. That's a miss, and Katapusan lets that bounce out of bounds. Terrafirma will take possession.
And a lot of perimeter passing that time for Magnolia. I mean, it's so much important for them to get the ball in the hands of their big guys and just wait for how the defense will react. And the perimeter players will still get more open looks if that happens.
Bravo got past Sangalang with a nice fake.
Oh, this guy is just playing good basketball. And what we're seeing is a guy who's playing for the very first time in this conference, but is always poised under chaos. He knows how to play and he doesn't panic. And a good defensive rebound by JM Bravo.
Olivario has it. Bravo will take the 3. Could not get it to fall in. And Magnolia will rightfully slow down the pace a little bit. They know they can't let Terrafirma run and speed up the pace of this game. Sangalang against a smaller Paraiso. Alfaro straight away 3, no good. That's gonna be a foul. Could be on Sangalang. Looks like he hurt his right ankle too. It is going to be on Louis Sangalang, and that is foul number 5 on Sangalang, who has not had the best shooting in this game. He does have 11 points, Louis Sangalang, but only 2 of 8. 7 for 7 from the free throw line. All of those free throws happened in the first half.
But this can be an issue for Terrafirma. They now have 3 team fouls with only 1 for Magnolia.
4-point lead for the Hotshots. They dump it down low. Lucero has been quiet, only 7 points for him. Another foul called in Terrafirma.
That is more bad news for Terrafirma. I just mentioned that a play ago. You do not want to be in early foul trouble against Magnolia because they play aggressive basketball. And the worst part is that will be the 6th personal foul on Luis Sangalang. That's bad. That's really bad news for Terra.
They don't have a lot of big men there, especially with Kemar Carino still nursing an injury. And pretty much your lone primary or legitimate center maybe falls out of the game. Barroca, that was the sign for Mark Barroca to attack. He does so and he finishes through the foul.
And you know that they have players such as Barroca, who is just so fearless in attacking the rim, punishing the defense of Ahan Missy from the weak side. He played decoy basketball that time as if he was gonna get the ball in the hands of Ian Sangalang. But with a quick reaction, Barroca attacked the rim, heard the whistle, scored on a layup, and completed a three-point play. The worst situation for Terrafirma is to get into early team penalty. That is where they're at the moment.
So 7 and 20 to play. And it's going to be foul shots for every loose ball or defensive foul that the Jeep commit. They do draw the foul, though, on Paul Lee that time. Hernandez, Coach RG, has a knack for drawing fouls.
And I have this belief that he's watching a lot of SJA basketball.
Oh, possible.
Right? Because he's been trooping to the free throw line at a very high pace. When he attacks, he knows how to, in Tagalog, we call it diligencia. He knows how to get that foul, sell it to the ref, and he's more often than not rewarded.
Look at that stat line. This is not something uncommon for Paulo Hernandez, that he just fills up the stat sheet. In their win against NLEX, he had 6 steals.
And free throw shooting, 9 out of 12. Very respectable clip. The defense will definitely be different from here on for Terrafirma, because now we have a Barroca attacking relentlessly because he knows that he will be fouled because of his aggressiveness. And the other thing is because Terrafirma knows that they're already in team penalty, some of it will just be token in nature. Wide open warm-up layup for Mark Barroca.
And with that, Magnolia's lead grows to 8 points. And Terrafirma asking for time. A shade under 7 minutes to go. This is actually the biggest lead already that Magnolia has enjoyed in this entire game. At some point, Terrafirma built an 11-point lead, but that's long gone. When the Jeep were ahead, Coach, it was Mark Barroca who just kept on fighting, kept on chipping away. Now that Magnolia's ahead, it's still Mark Barroca leading the way for them.
Quality baskets by Mark Barroca, 11 total points for him. And look at this, the last time, and we've been saying this all throughout the coverage, it's been too long. The last time Terrafirma defeated Magnolia was way back in 2016. So that was like almost 10 years ago, and I was just 43. And now 53.
You know, if we use the word diligencia in this game, we might have said it a lot. And also discarte, because that's also how Terrafirma was able to get a lot of their free throws. Them being able to outsmart the defense.
Free throw number 42 and 43 coming for Paraiso.
I remember covering a game last season where there were, if I'm not mistaken, around 69 combined free throws. Right around that number. We're getting very close to it.
That's right.
Javi from the corner. 3-ball no good. Loose ball foul.
Lucero will be the guilty party. Taking out Jim Bravo in that rebounding situation. Substitution.
You have to like, Coach, the attitude we're seeing now from Terrafirma. They refuse to go away. They're trying their very best to stay in step with Magnolia. Only down by 7.
And what they need to do is just be within striking distance. It happened against NLEX. They found a way to stay close, and they just delivered a lot of knockout blows towards the end of the ball game. It was not the same situation when they went up against Blackwater. They lost eventually by 20. In their game against Converge, they lost by 17. And now they feel like probably we have a chance, and they're just stepping on the gas.
Lapot had excellent position underneath. So good that Mariano had no other recourse but to give up the foul and send James to the line.
They're just badly undersized right now. But you know, you cannot lose in the height department and also in the quickness department. On offense, that is what they're trying to do. Just breaking down whoever is trying to guard them by using their speed. We saw that in Paraiso. And brilliant move by Mariano. And that is why you always like players who have won a lot of championships and being part of what you're trying to accomplish. Mariano is a proven winner in the PBA. Good foul to give instead of giving up easy 2 points. He made Lapot score just 1 point in that possession.
Here's Terrafirma. Paraiso could not hit. Look at Hernandez.
Oh, out of nowhere.
Paulo stepping back, finding Aljon. Short jumper doesn't work, but a foul called on Lapot. A product of the activity of Prince Rivero, and he has been frustrating the bigs of Magnolia all game long.
And there's actually no reason to do that. But good thing, that will just be their 5th team foul. Not yet in team penalty, but after that foul, every foul will be, except for offensive fouls, will now be free throw shooting time for Terra.
For both teams at this point.
Right.
Hernandez. There's a foul. And it's going to be free throws for Bravo. Gomez Del Llano called for that one. I think frustrations, that we're seeing a lot of frustrated players now on the court.
And I cannot believe the frequency of fouling by Magnolia. Because they want to get the ball badly. The tendency is it's not within normal movements. So foul was called against Gomez Del Llano, but for JM Bravo, he has to make sure that every free throw given, he must make the defense pay.
And you also see that Gomez Del Llano and Xavier Lucero, both of them hounded by foul trouble. Both players nursing 5 fouls now, and that's why they're sitting on the Magnolia bench. Meanwhile, Terrafirma, so making this ball game, they trimmed the deficit down to 5. We'll be back after this break.
Even on the zone, let's run this. Hey, stage. Jerome, hand up the hand up the rope. Straight. Hey, pass the ball. Hey, let's run point. Point series. Hey, even on the zone. Hey, so point series. What's gonna happen is, under Macpic, Tuloy. Let's run our first play. Hey, so.
The PBA is already in Dubai. The game, of course, is going to be tomorrow. But San Miguel Beerman, Barangay Ginebra San Miguel, already there. And wherever you go in the world, where there are kababayans, there will always be a welcome as warm as this. We thank you to all the Filipinos who welcome our PBA family over there, and we can't wait to watch the game between San Miguel and Barangay Ginebra. That's happening tomorrow, 7 p.m. Dubai time over at the Coca-Cola Arena, but it's going to be 11 p.m. Philippine time, and it's going to be live on RPTV, on PBA Rush, Pilipinas Live, and One Sports YouTube channel.
And it's good basketball, and I'm certain about that. What a treat for our kababayans in Dubai. And the reason why I feel like it's well-timed is because both San Miguel and Ginebra are actually not having the kind of start that they like. 1 and 2 in their first 3 games. So it's going to be a dogfight in Dubai.
Definitely something to look forward to. And tomorrow, technically, I mean, you get 3 PBA
Oh,
games.
yes.
What a treat as well for any PBA fan.
It's a good day for PBA basketball fans tomorrow.
So here's your schedule. Of course, you start at 5:15. Second game follows right after. You get a little bit, maybe an hour to eat late dinner or heat up some snacks for the 11 p.m. game, which is going to take you all the way to the early morning of Monday. At which point you'll probably start to get ready for the NBA games.
That's right. The following day on Monday morning.
Because Monday morning games, or in the Philippines at least, Sunday night NBA games
That's
over
right.
the States are early, right? Early morning.
Correct.
So, tuloy-tuloy na kayo manood ng basketball. 5 minutes remaining here. Back to a 7-point lead for Magnolia. Hanisi has not been able to hit his long bombs.
Still nothing from the outside for Hanisi.
Solid screen by Sanggalang. Drops Jeric, allows Mark to score.
Baroka with now a total of 13 points. Not only are these style points, these are all critical points in this juncture. Still perfect from the field. 6 out of 6 for Baroka.
Even from the free throw line.
Yes.
Paraiso got stuck. And a foul called. Referee Paez is the one who blows that whistle. Foul called on Lastimosa.
Oh, Lastimosa has to be careful.
He was already being held back by De La Rosa, but he really wanted to have a word with referee James Paez.
And if he points in the direction of our big screen and uses that as a reference, and he is doing it in a provocative manner, usually referees would either call a warning or a technical foul. But good thing, the temperament of Jerome Lastimosa is helping him at this point. Oh, it turned out to be a good foul. 2 muffed free throws, partner.
I think he got hit. He may have gotten hit. That's why he's complaining, because he was checking on his lip or his mouth area. Usually that's when players get extra animated, coach, right, in complaining. Either they're so convinced that they did commit the infraction or they got hurt.
Oh,
they
he got
hit.
the raw end of the deal, and yet a defensive foul was called against him. It's just double whammy for that player.
Here's Lastimosa. Empty. Laput gets fouled. James still a little frustrated, feeling like he could have got an end one opportunity, but hey, he'll still head to the line for a pair.
And especially against a very small team like Terrafirma. He was not able to get the inside position, but because of his height, he was able to get that offensive rebound. Easy end one for him, pero this is what happens if you don't really spend a lot of time from the free throw. Probably he needs more time because he usually gets fouled a lot because he is just so physical and always there aggressively crashing the boards, and more often than not he just operates inside 4 feet.
Well, the last, you don't get someone who's 6'10" too often in the PBA, right? And one of the very few 6'10" players who entered the PBA has become a 9-time MVP in Vilmar Fajardo.
That's a very good point.
Mariano. Oh, what a move by Aljun! Eventually getting fouled.
This is just unbelievable. With the number of fouls called against Magnolia, I'm seeing Magnolia very frustrated right now, led by their head coach L.A. Tenorio, even their consultant, Eric Arreola, not believing what he is seeing. Again, just the number of free throws awarded to Terrafirma. Number 48, to be exact, and 32 made for the white shirts of Terra.
We want to take this time to congratulate Aljun Mariano, by the way, who recently became a dad. His wife also in attendance here in the Inares Center in Antipolo. Definitely, he calls his young king. So congratulations.
Oh yes,
Mariano
congratulations.
Family.
Yes.
Lastimosa with a two-cut layup.
Let's get a better pace. Of course, that is also the reminder of Coach L.A. Tenorio. Stop fouling. Stop stopping the clock because they're up by 9 points. It's getting late too.
We still have another game, by the way. If you guys are wondering, yes, Phoenix and Converge are already in their respective tunnels, very much itching to come out and step on the court, but we have to settle this one first.
Not a very good scoring night for Save Lucero, only with a total of 7 points. Back-to-back misses for Terrafirma.
Magnolia's up by 9. All they have to do is protect this. But again, with a 4-point shot, it's not impossible for Terrafirma to get back still. Barroca gets to his spot. Mark Barroca off the glass, it goes.
Oh, this guy is just a key player for Magnolia, especially in the fourth quarter. He's taking quality shots. He's making the right reads and is knocking shots down. And look at that, using that pick provided by Ian Sangalang, just a short one. And the backboard has always been a friend of Mark Barroca.
Get out, drive away. Come on, better shot. Come on, better shot. Match up, match up.
We still have 2.5 minutes to play inside the Inares Center in Antipolo in the first game of your Saturday doubleheader, where Jerome Lastimosa has lit things up, especially in the second half.
Just important baskets by Jerome Lastimosa. And you like this guy because he is just so productive and he always flies under the radar. You're just so mesmerized with the kind of creativity that he has under his belt. 16 points for Jerome Lastimosa. Scored 22 against Meralco, averaging 16.3 points per ball game, second best for his team.
He had a quiet first half, only 5 points for him, but has made loud noise here in the third and fourth quarters. Mariano, jumper no good. Fernandez again with that effort. Wanting to go against Sangalang. Rivero open underneath.
But the problem of Magnolia sometimes is they just stop playing defense. Just the man who was supposed to guard Prince Rivero was not in front of Prince that time.
Rivero really sacrificing his face and body against Sangalang. Barroca gets away again, a master of the glass.
And you can just see the kind of attack of Mark Barroca. He is not forcing it. What he's doing is just giving the ball to Ian, and then he will attack. And he is just reading the kind of defense that Terrafirma is employing. Another foul will be called against Magnolia. This has not been a good sight for Magnolia with the way they're fouling.
50th
oh my goodness.
And 51st free throw attempts for Terrafirma.
And this is something that they will take a closer look at. The number of rebounds. They know that they're taller than Terrafirma. And this is a surprising stat line. 46 rebounds for Terra and only 45 for Magnolia.
And I think there's also a contrast in how Terrafirma got these free throw attempts in the first half and in the second. In the first half, Coach, it was a lot of Terrafirma going downhill. But then here in rebounding situations.
Yes, right. Correct.
A split from the free throw line for Terrafirma. More free throws, but this time for Magnolia.
Baroka just knows what to do. I mean, he's a veteran point guard. He knows what it takes to increase their chances of winning. Where is their advantage? It is really down low. Ian Sangalang being guarded by a smaller defender. Louis Sangalang in the fourth quarter was called for his sixth personal foul. He was out. And that is why, and you mentioned that due to his absence, the small team just became smaller.
That's
and that
true.
is the cue for Magnolia to just pound it inside.
And you immediately see how smart a basketball player Mark Baroka is. When Sangalang fouled out, he took his shots much closer to the basket.
And also the quality of shots. And he was not just forcing it. He was not like initially just looking for his shots. No, he is reactive, which is really good. 8 out of 8 from the field for Mark Baroka in this game.
And also, you have to give a lot of respect to Aljon Mariano, who stood as the center of Terrafirma after Sangalang fouled out. I mean, we had seen Aljon before as an import stopper for Barangay Ginebra, so he's used to guarding guys much bigger than him. Sangalang again. That rolls out. Ahanisi wanting to make his move early. Good deflection.
Good defense, yes. Well done by Ian Sangalang, not fouling that time.
And Lucero will have his second dunk of the game. Cherry on top of this impending win. Hernandez says, not if I have something to say about it. No foul whistle there anymore as Lucero collects more.
And lucky for Lucero to score 4 easy baskets, because from a total of just 7 points, those last 2 enabled him to finish the game with 11. Not the prettiest of wins for Magnolia, but the important thing is the losing streak, or their winning streak, continues with an 11-point victory against Terra.
That's right, and the best player of this game is Mark Baroka. He is our Babad player of the game, brought to you by Devant. Enjoy unforgettable TV Babad moments with your family, only with Devant.
He was very quiet in the first 3 quarters, only 6 points to show. But when the game was on the line, Mark Baroka took on the scoring cudgels, was very aggressive with his attack, and was so perfect from the field. He did not miss, and in the end, 17 points was enough to tow his team to victory and earn Player of the Game honors.
So Magnolia able to get back to the winning column after a heartbreaking loss in their previous game, losing to Meralco by 2 points. They take an 11-point win over Terrafirma. Like Coach RG said, not the best of wins, but something they'll take anyway.
For sure.
And in a bit, we'll hear from our best player. But of course, so many guys had to step up. Paulie finally breaking through with his first double-digit performance, scoring performance that is, in his game. But Bea Escudero is with Mark Baroka.
With a final score of 104-93, the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots bounce back after their first loss. And we have our best player of the game, Mark Baroka. Mark, congratulations. 17 points, 11 in the fourth quarter, 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Mark, after that loss in the previous game, grabe yung aggressiveness ng team, especially you coming off the bench. Ano ba yung naging approach nyo tonight?
Siguro yung yung mentality namin na kailangan manalo, whatever it takes, kasi nga we need to bounce back hard sa game na to, kasi nga masakit yung pagkatalo namin last game. So kasi ito yung mga games na kailangan namin manalo, kasi nga ito yung magpapadala sa amin sa playoffs, sa magandang spot. So kailangan talaga na manalo namin. Sabi ko, nag-usap na nila Coach LA na sinasabi niya na parang kailangan manalo tayo dito sa team na to, kasi nga against the elite team, it's a 50-50 game. But this game is like parang kailangan laging tayo lamang tayo rito. So pinag-usapan lang na siguro na-disappoint lang kami nung una, kasi nga sobrang di namin malamangan yung kalaban ng malaki. So parang sabi na, sinasabi ni Coach LA, manalo kami ng 1 point every quarter. So yun lang yung mentality namin. So stop lang kami hanggang nakuha namin yung rhythm sa huli.
Mark, you played your 622nd game tonight dito sa PBA and you scored a perfect 8 of 8 from the field. How do you maintain this level of intensity all these years?
Siguro alaga lang sa katawan. Siyempre, pasalamat sa Panginoon na lagi akong healthy and sa team ko. And siyempre, kailangan malaga sa katawan lagi para tumagal ka pa siguro sa paglalaro.
Alright, Mark, may gusto ka bang batiin or pasalamatan?
Siyempre, binabati ko yung wife ko, nandyan ngayon, sila nanonood ngayon, and sa pamilya ko, sa Buanga, nanay ko, sa mga kapatid ko, and sa fans ng Chicken Timplados, maraming salamat, supportan nyo sa PBA. God bless inyo lahat.
Alright, once again, our best player of the game from the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots, Mark Baroja. Now let's turn it over to the post-game press conference with our winning coach.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to the post-game press conference of tonight's PBA Philippine Cup match between Magnolia and Terrafirma. Magnolia won 104-93. Joining us tonight is winning coach, Coach Eli Tenorio. Coach, first off, congrats. Just your thoughts about this solid bounce back after losing the last time out.
It's very important, no, for us to really focus on this game. No? Coming into this game, we're really focus on the things that we learned from last game, no, which is really number one to play defense, no. But I don't know. I don't know if we. Yes, we won this game, but I think we learned a lot from this game. No, I think we fouled a lot on this game. No? So I think fouling is not good defense. No, we always put the other teams in the penalty. So I think we have to take a look at that. Kailangan namin makita yon, and you know, again, with losing and when winning, we learn a lot. No, lagi kami may natututo na, may baong kami parati na nagagawang na to improve, no, which is good for us. No, we didn't start the game the right way again today, but you know, again, just like what I've said to the players, we always want to have a, you know, a defensive mentality. No, so we always focus on getting stops. So, you know, yun lang naman ang focus namin. They played zone, we struggled, no, but I think more than that is really our defense. No, we have to take pride on our defense.
Time to look back at what we saw in this game between the Magnolia Hotshots and the Terrafirma Dyip. Both teams coming off losses, so eager to bounce back. Jerome Lastimoso with a nice finish to start off his game, which ended up to be a strong performance for the young man.
But another slow start for Magnolia. They allowed Terrafirma to gain control of the ball game in the opening minutes of the first quarter. They were down, we're talking about Magnolia, by as many as 11 points at one point, 20-9 to be exact. They were not able to defend the 4-point shooters of Terrafirma. But towards the end of the first quarter, they were able to keep within striking distance, just down by 3 points.
Early in the second quarter, Terrafirma would build an 11-point lead, but Xavier Lucero and Magnolia would fight back. Xavier had a quiet performance in this game, but he did have a couple of highlights, including this two-handed jam.
Not a lot of fast break points for Magnolia in this ball game, but what is important is your Terrafirma, you just kept on fighting. A lot of free throws awarded to Terrafirma in this ball game, a total of 51 free throws for them, and they were able to make 38 if I'm not, or 37 if I'm not mistaken. But guys coming off the bench showing the depth of Magnolia. Look at that, nice assist pass by Gomez to the open teammate, and De La Rosa was able to knock that shot down, and back-to-back threes enabled Magnolia to gain that 3-point advantage at the end of 24.
Early on, the three-point shot wasn't falling for either side, but when it opened up for Magnolia, that's how they got the lead. But Aljon Mariano was adamant in keeping Terrafirma alive. Ian Sangalang there, we saw a bucket. It was an exchange between Aljon Mariano
and the entire Magnolia team in the third.
You know, good thing that our highlights involved a lot of positive shots, a lot of field goal attempts, and waking up at the right time is Paulie, the lethal weapon. Scoring 4 from the 4-point area, a total of 12 points for Paulie, is confidence high in this conference.
Yeah, Aljon Mariano again. He led the way for Terrafirma. Finished with 12 points and 9 rebounds. Entering the fourth quarter, believe it or not, it was still Terrafirma up by 1. But this is where things would change.
It's just takeover mode for Mark Baroka. Prior to this quarter, in the first 3 quarters, he was only good for 6 points. He scattered a total of 11 in the payoff quarter, and he did not miss. There were still a lot of fight back for Terrafirma, but in the end, critical shots, timely baskets by Magnolia, led by this guy, Mark Baroka, who was simply in complete control with the kind of attack that he will do and break down the defense of Terrafirma. In the end, even if they allowed 34 out of 51 free throws, Magnolia was still able to bounce back strong and to win by 11 against Terra.
Baroka starred with 17 points, 8 of 8 from the field. Our next game is Converge versus Phoenix, 2 exciting young teams looking to make their mark here in Season 50. But that will do it for us for the first game. For my partner, Coach Ryan Gregorio, and for our incredible technical and production teams, my name is Jut Sulit. Thanking you for watching the PBA Season 50 Philippine Cup on PBA Rush. Don't go anywhere. Coming right up, it's going to be the second game, Converge Fiber Xers versus the Phoenix Fuel Masters.